Warning! The Stone Age Gamer podcast includes a lot of bad language. Cover your motherfucking ears.
Good evening and welcome to the Stone Age Gamer podcast. I'm Kris Randazzo, and joining me tonight is the most intense sci-fi sport in the Metroid universe, Dan Ryan.
That's right, baby.
Yeah, that's an actual pull quote. It's time for the July 10, 20, 30, 40, where we talk about notable game releases from decades past. As the summer wears on, will the past decades continue to suffer from game droughts, or will it be better? Watch out for murderous annelids, because your Stone Age Gamer podcast starts now.
Almost got through that all the way.
You know, that was actually a mistake when I said your Stone Age Gamer podcast starts now. But I think I might want to keep it. I'm just going to stick with it. Because it is your Stone Age Gamer podcast.
Do it, Doug.
It's mine, it's yours, it's all of ours. Hi, everyone. This is episode 628. It's the week of July 31st, 2026, and welcome. For anyone new here, this is the official podcast of StoneAgeGamer.com. Dan and I talk every week about what's happening in the world of video games from a retro gamer's perspective, as well as whatever the hell else is going on in our lives. And speaking of which, as you may or may not noticed, you can't see us. We decided that Dan was just too ugly.
And we're tired of pretending like that's not what it is.
I go through hundreds of emails an hour. Complaining for an hour. Just constant complaints about how fucking ugly Dan is.
And, well, it's that and the fact that I haven't taken my dick out on video yet.
Really, it's both, because, like, they don't want to see, they know what they want to see, and it ain't your face.
No.
They have very clear demands.
It's the hog.
And we're just not... No, we've been, I crunched some numbers today, and the addition of video to the podcast was several hours of work for both me and Evan every week. The return has not been... our numbers haven't seemed to have changed at all. I mean, I know people appreciate the video, and I liked doing the video, but when it came to the amount of work versus just doing audio, it's just the math did not math. So we're back to doing audio, at least for now. I'm not saying we'll never do video again, but for now, we're just going to try to keep things simple, go back to what we're used to. Except I am doing something a little bit different tonight. I'm recording outside for the first time. It's just so gosh dang beautiful outside that I have set up my laptop and brought my recording equipment outside. I got a fire in the fire pit and my little string lights on and hoppers prancing around the backyard. I got the Phillies-Yankees game up on my phone, my script in front of me, Dan in my ears. Almost exactly where I want him.
Almost where I want him to be.
I mean, look, if I have to choose positions, this is maybe 3 on the list.
I mean, so it is nice to have this Phillies-Yankees game up, because I get to see Cam Schlittler hopefully not schlit the bed like he did last Sunday. When I was there...
Was that better or worse than the T-ball level rundown that the Phillies caught themselves in when they lost their last game to the Dodgers? Because that was hysterical.
Yeah, I think I don't like the Dodgers. I think that's what it's coming down to. The two teams that I can root for, one, obviously the Yankees, but two, the Phillies, right? Both just... The Dodgers came to town and they were like, oh, here's our balls. Where is your chin? Give me a second. I'm going to pop them right on there. And you're just going to sit with there.
That game started off really well.
It did. So did the game I went to.
Yeah, that's
started off great.
Tragic. Started off great, but then the Phillies just they fought all the way to the end, and then that last play was just what were you doing? What were you doing? I mean, getting caught in the rundown was one thing, but then the JT didn't. I don't know why he went back to second. He would have been fine if he just stayed on third. It would have been just fine, and then we would have had a chance. But we were close, but alas, 'tis what it is.
Yes.
Like I said, it's a beautiful night outside. It's only going to get nicer as the sun goes down, the weather gets cooler. I got John out here burning sticks next to us while we're talking, so he can hear my half of the conversation, but he can't hear Dan's, which is honestly for the best.
I was going to say, it's probably a good thing. Because, I do. I'm just me, so, like, it's whatever. It's fine.
I got to say, I'm kind of... I don't know how I feel about the fact that I've not done this before. This is just lovely outside. And, it's been hot, but in all the years we've been doing this podcast, like, we were off last week. We called an audible and skipped the show because Dan had people in town, and I tried to come up with this plan of, like, all right, well, I'll get a guest, and then I got to go on vacation next month so you can get a guest, and then we'll both do shows. And it was like, no, you know what? Let's just take the night off. It's okay.
Yeah.
And it was okay.
It was okay. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know for sure, but I'm almost positive that since this podcast started, we have not missed a week.
We have missed several.
Have we? Oh, okay.
You missed that in the chat. It's been a long time. It's been a long time, but I actually went through and found every week that we missed. Let me see if I can find that. Okay, according to Pinecast, there has been an episode posted every week dating back to January 20th, 2017, but we posted 2 episodes the week before to cover that, so that one doesn't count. There were a couple of anomalies, like posting on a Thursday or a Saturday, and one week where we posted on a Tuesday for some reason, but the first actual missed week that I found was all the way back on January 1st, 2016. Then August 7th, 2015 was posted late, but that just led to 2 episodes the following week. And then August 11, 2014, we missed a week. And then at the very beginning of the show, there was like apparently 2 weeks between our first and second episodes, but I don't remember that because that was back in 2014. But really, we missed without making it up. We actually missed January 1st, 2016 and August 11th, 2014. Those are the 2 times that we have actually missed episodes. And congratulations, the Yankees are on the board.
That's right. And since you and I started, just you and I, we haven't missed.
No, definitely not.
Yeah.
We haven't been doing it. We haven't been doing it just the 2 of us since 2015, so yeah.
Right.
We are good.
Yeah, sorry, fuck all y'all.
January 1st, 2016. Yeah. It starts. Yeah, you guys are absolutely... I'm certain you guys are going to crush us tonight. I feel like we haven't been playing at our best, and I just don't think it's going to work out. But that's why they play the game.
That is why they play the game. Jesus Luzardo is not great.
No, he's not our worst, but he's unpredictable. He has not been spectacular. But we'll see. Like I said, that's why they play the game.
So we haven't done this in 2 weeks. Are we just going to spend the first half talking about the Doomsday trailer? Like, are we doing...
I mean, we could. I mean, there is a 10, 20, 30, 40, but I poked through it, and I can't say it's filled with a lot of good stuff. I mean, I think fuck it looks great.
Let's rip through this 10, 20, 30, 40 and see where we land. Maybe this will be a movie podcast this week.
I didn't do, so the way I tackled it this time, we also have a bunch of week-old news because we weren't here last week. I don't know, like a ton. This hasn't been a very busy news week, but anyway.
No.
I did again what I did the last couple times is not really do proper notes for the 10, 20, 30, 40 because, again, that is incredibly time-consuming. Yeah. So we're just gonna open up my spreadsheet. Spreadsheets and bed sheets. Where is the 10, 20, 30, 40? Hey, look at that. That's another app. All right, so we're going to start in 2016. And if memory serves, we've still got the previous generation consoles, the PS3, 360, and Wii. DS and PSP are done. I don't think there was anything really of value on PS3 and 360. if I remember this correctly. Like, not a lot came out at this point. They were pretty deep into their lives. We're looking at July. Doodle God, another chapter of Minecraft Story Mode, and that's it for PS3. Pretty sure Xbox 360 was about the same. Let's move on back to, we're already at June. So, July had something called Jironeko, no, that's June. I can't read. Call of Duty Black Ops Zombies Giant DLC or something called Loot or Die 2, Death Quota R, another Minecraft story chapter, and that's it. That's it. Yeah, nothing to set the toes a tapping. The Wii doesn't have anything until November, which will just be Just Dance. So that's it. Previous generation, really just in the death throes. Let's get to the real meat. The meat and or potatoes. New games on PlayStation 4. Let's see. 34 pages. Let's go back to... What do you think? What do you think here? Page 18? Think that'll get us to July?
That sounds great.
Oh, nailed it on the first try.
Nice.
So, we also have Tumblestone. Okay. I feel like I've heard of Tumblestone.
Tumblestone?
Minecraft Story Mode. Some One Piece game. MX 5000. Oh, that's an Arcade Archives game. I don't know what MX 5000 is. It's a shooting game. Neat. Boy. Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2? I don't think that was new. I think that was just a port. Oh, yeah, that's just I think that was a backwards compatibility thing, even. Oh, there we go. Hyper Light Drifter. There's a winner.
That's a damn
game
good
worth
game.
Talking about. Yeah.
It's a really good game.
That's about it, though. Nothing else is jumping out at me. Just a bunch of garbo. What about the X-Bone? How are we feeling about the X-Bone? Did the X-Bone do any better? Like, really, I was looking through this earlier and was just like, man, this is dire. This is not great for... Like, this was a bad month.
As we have said many times before, like, there's a reason that we're like, no games come out in the summer. Like, we didn't just make that shit up.
I mean,
then we do this 10, 20, 30, 40, and it's like, oh, a bunch of games come out in the summer. No? Oh, Cody Bellinger. How you going to get thrown out? Stealing second.
Oh, so you're like a second ahead of me, so... You're more than a second ahead of me. It hasn't happened yet.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll shut up. I'll wait for you to react.
Yeah. I mean, if it's something bad for me, then feel free to rub it in ahead of time. There he goes. And, yeah, got him. Look at that.
There he goes. And, yeah, still out. Son of a bitch.
I promise you, us commentating on the baseball game is more interesting than us talking about MX versus ATV Encore for Xbox One. Yeah, just... Okay, Kerbal Space Program. I heard that game's pretty cool.
I mean, yeah, like I've heard a bunch of really good things about it, but I've never played it. Oh no, yeah, we're challenging Chris. We're challenging the steal.
Well, you should. On the replay, it kind of looks like his foot got there before the glove touched him.
Let's see. Oh, that's fucking close. I don't know if that's close enough to overturn.
I don't know. That one angle, it looked pretty obvious, but on that one, I don't know.
That's really close.
Minecraft Story Mode, Hyper Light Drifter, same thing.
Yeah, not much.
Same thing. Yep, not much. What about the Wii U? How did our friends at Nintendo do? You know, always one of those, the Wii U, it had so many great games all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, for example, when I click on the year, there was like 32 some odd pages for PlayStation and Xbox. Yeah. This says 9. Just 9 pages. That's it. That's the only number of games that came out. All right, let's see. That's June. Let's go to July. How are we looking in July? Anything? Come on, give me something here. We got Steel Lords, Tap Tap Arcade 2, Tumblestone, Reptilian Rebellion, Chroma Blast, Jackpot 777, Defend Your Crypt. Boy, these are some big, heavy hitters happening. Was there any first-party releases? Anything? Hot Rod Racer, Block, Dracula's Legacy, Vector Wars, and that's, wow, nothing. It was just shovelware. That's all the Wii U got in July. That poor system.
Yeah.
That poor system. Well, let's see if the Ouya can save the day.
I gotta say, I really doubt it.
Never doubt the Ouya, right? This is why we play the game. No, that metaphor doesn't work here.
No, it really doesn't.
And nothing. Jack and shit. Nothing at all. Let's see. How about handhelds? Sometimes we get in the situation where the handhelds really carry it, right? Sometimes you'll be like, oh, the 3DS had like Mario 3D World and something else crazy. Mario 3D Land.
Yeah.
World didn't come out on 3DS. But let's see if this is one of those times. I'm feeling like it's not going to be. And Monster Hunter Generations? That's not nothing. Metroid Prime Blast Ball.
Fuck yeah!
The most intense sci-fi sport in the Metroid universe. Of all the intense sci-fi sports in the Metroid universe, this is the most intense.
This is indeed. Yeah.
Something called Ninja Smasher. Yeah, no, I'm sorry, 3DS. And look, Blast Ball is actually kind of fun. It just unfortunately came out in a world where Rocket League already existed. It's like they kind of invented a worse version of Rocket League before, like, at the same time. And then Rocket League was just like, it was really taken off when Blast Ball hit. And it's like, yeah, there's really nothing you can do about this. It's just terrible timing. It was an okay idea, but I feel like they shouldn't have wrapped up in Metroid. Like, that just seems like a really weird thing to do, try to make a sports game out of Metroid.
Yeah. That is...
But, like, a game where you shoot a giant ball around, basically like Rocket League, it's not a terrible concept. It's actually kind of fun to play. It's just, like, not fun enough.
Yeah.
There is pretty much nothing of value happening on PS Vita either. You've got a Mutant Month Super Challenge, Sheeran the Wanderer with some long subtitle, One Piece. I mean, what is this Sheeran the Wanderer? I don't really want to click on it, but here we are. Sheeran the Wanderer, the Tower of Fortune, and the Dice of Fate.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, that's great. That's great. 10 out of 10, no notes. That's going to do it for the 10, and I'm glad that we're done with that, because it was pretty crap. So let's move on to the 20.
No, wasn't ideal.
Good old 2006. This one, I also looked at this one earlier, and if memory serves, not even the PS2 had a very good month this month. Again, we're at the end of PS2's life, so it's not, we're not in its prime. The PS3 is like right on the is edging, right? Is that the term? Is that what the kids say?
Yeah, that's what he's doing. That's what we're doing. We are digitally edging, Kris. Boy, there's your episode title.
You know what? Out of context, they'll never know.
Yeah, I mean, I figure they might.
Oh, maybe if you've got a dirty mind, which we do.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
July. Pool Paradise. Oh my God, Pool Paradise for PS2. The best thing about this game, when you worked at Game Crazy, the way the box was laid out, when you put our price stickers with the MVP price,
yeah,
when you put it on the box, it read Poo Paradise.
Love that. Poo Paradise, always funny.
There's your episode title, Poo Paradise.
It's not what you want, or is it?
No,
I don't know. I'm not judging.
I'm not shaming anybody.
No.
I said June. Where does July start? Okay, so some Power Shot Pinball, Poo Paradise, Monster House, NCAA Football 07, Panzer Elite Action, something. Boy, this is just the dregs. A Super Dragon Ball Z was... I don't even remember that one. I don't even remember that one. Zoo Cube, The Ant Bully, Sprint Cars, Global Defense Force Tactics, James Pond RoboCod.
Ugh.
Yeah,
God,
this is
nothing worth talking about.
Not even the PS2 can save us. How about the other guys, like Xbox? Maybe we got anything good happening on Xbox? Maybe. Let's go back to page 3. July. Painkiller Hell Wars. I've not played that one, but I feel like I've heard that people like it. Although its Metascore is 68.
It's not great.
There was something
not a
to
great
that.
Metascore.
That's not a great Metascore, but I feel like there are people on Earth who liked Painkiller. Maybe that's the first Painkiller. Maybe this is the second Painkiller. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know why I'm qualified to host a podcast. NCAA Football 07. Ooh, Crusty Demons. Which is about dirt bikes, I think.
Oh, man.
Let's see. Crusty Demons. Where's the official description? Where are you? I see a bunch of reviews, but there was like an official description that like I clicked on the link and now the description went away, and I want the description.
I need to know about these crusty ass fucking demons, man.
Exactly. I this is what I'm here for. I'm not here on Metacritic for reviews.
Yeah, right?
There we go. Summary. The Crusty Demons are a gang of... All right, you can do this.
Oh,
the
wait,
Crusty Demons.
The Crusty Demons? Not
the
just
Crusty Demons.
Not just Crusty Demons, but the Crusty Demons.
The game is called Crusty Demons, but the Crusty Demons are a gang of bikers who tour the world performing outrageous bike stunts and participating in all manner of crazy skits with motorized vehicles. In a pact with the devil, they are offered immortality, the ability to crash time and time again, yet still live to walk away, at the cost of signing over their souls. Only by winning the damnation game and entertaining Lucifer do they have a chance to win back their souls.
It's like a failed Ghost Rider reboot. This is terrible.
Just fantastic.
Just the drizzling shits.
I mean, what more do you need?
Do you people?
What more do you want to hear?
I don't want to hear
Crusty
anything
Demons.
more about Crusty Demons, I gotta be honest. I've had
so
my
far,
fill.
Xbox is the absolute winner. No questions asked. I mean, Urban Chaos, NFL head coach with Coach Cower on the front.
Oh, shit.
Pointing aggressively. I mean, come on. Disney Pixar's Cars, the game, and won Street Ball. Cars and won Street Ball. Come on. Sensible Soccer, 2006. This is just a banger. Oh, I'm sorry, and won Street Ball and Sensible Soccer and Urban Chaos. Oh, those were all June. Oh, I'm terrible. Crusty Demons was June. I'm
Son of
off.
a bitch, Chris.
No.
You've lied.
I failed you. I have lied. I failed you. Did we not talk about Crusty Demons last month?
I get, maybe? We didn't spend this much time on Crusty Demons last month.
And I think that's a disservice to our listeners and the Crusty Demons. Anyway, this month sucks. What's on GameCube?
Anyway,
GameCube, and it's GameCube's got a solid 3 pages.
Oh shit!
Page 2. What do we got in July? The Ant Bully, Monster House, and that's it.
Oof.
People look back at the GameCube and the Wii U with a certain degree of fondness, and it's months like these where I remember, like, if you were there, like, yeah, they've got a great library now, but man, if you were there, you had months like this when you're sitting there with your GameCube,
it was hard,
and it's cute purple handle, and Crusty Demons is over there on Xbox, just sitting there. It's already been out for a month. That came out last month. People are still playing with their Crusty Demons.
That's right. And you're like, I got the Ant Bully, though.
I got the Ant Bully. But I could have also had that on Xbox. But I don't, because I own a GameCube. And I'm sad.
Because I'm an idiot. No, I mean, you're absolutely right, though. Like, you go back and you look at the library in totality. And it's like, man, this was a really good system. And the GameCube was a very, very good system. But boy, were there some months where it was like months at a time.
Yeah, there were entire months where you would go like an entire month at least with nothing worth playing, and sometimes nothing at all. It was a brutal time to be a diehard Nintendo fanatic. The games that you did get were genuine all-time classics. You know, we're talking Wind Waker, the original Animal Crossing, Super Mario Sunshine, the first half of it. Metroid Prime, and then like some of the multi-platform stuff, like Prince of Persia: Sands of Time.
Resident Evil 4, Soul Calibur,
Resident Evil 4, Beyond Good and Evil. Like there was a lot of good stuff on that platform. As long as you didn't want as steady a stream as especially PlayStation 2, but even Xbox.
Right.
But yeah, it was rough business.
Yeah, slim pickings, as it were.
Yes, indeed. Over on the Game Boy Advance, we've got Monster House. We've got Ant Bully. We've got Battle B Damon? Summon Knight something. That's got a 77 Metascore. That one's green.
Yeah, I feel like the Summon Knight stuff, that's like a thing.
Yeah, it was.
It's a thing I think people care about.
That's it for GBA. What about the DS? The DS, this is right. So we're right in the prime of DS, PSP, N-Gage, 360, PS3, Wii. Like, this is the year these things happen. I think PS3 and Wii aren't out yet, if my notes are to be believed. But
it's nice that you included N-Gage, though, as if that made any difference whatsoever.
Dan. It matters. It matters to me.
Okay.
Side talking matters to me.
Okay.
That bug is dead.
John, we told you, shut the fuck up.
The notion is to keep the fire going all night. I'm going to be out here for hours.
Stop talking about bugs.
You know how I podcast. I sit out here for literal hours. I intend to keep that fire going all night long. Well, not all night. I will eventually go to bed. But while I'm out here, I want there to be flames.
But if you keep talking, John...
Yes, you may absolutely have dessert.
You're going to be in the fire. Fuck.
DS did not make things better. We have something called, which I don't think came out in North America. This game is called, I need to see the full title. Come on. Metacritic. Show me the full title of this game. I Did It, Mum. Picture book.
Wow.
Yeah. That was actually kind of anticlimactic. That's not as good as I thought it was going to be. It's no Crusty Demons.
You really did build that one up like it was going to be this like wackadoo. It's a shit title and sounds like a shit game, but it was fine.
And there's Monster House. That's it. That's the entirety of July for the DS. Really, like it's summer. Kids need games, especially kids that have DSs.
They need to be outside
and stuff. Yeah, that's why the DS is portable. Thank you very much.
Good point. Yeah, I forgot.
Play the DS outside. Get some sun. Plug in your Boktai cartridges. It still worked, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I could be full of shit. What do I know?
None of this matters. It's fine.
We had like some extra time, and I wound up like Karen was just stitching, and I was like, all right, well, I don't have the brain power to watch anything of value, so I'm just going to boot up a bunch of old Adult Swim stuff. And we watched the episode of Harvey Birdman with the Flintstones. And the wondrous phrase "You're dead to me" can opener has re-entered my life, and that makes me happy.
You're dead to me, can opener.
Here we go.
So
Here we go. My PSP. Miami Vice, Blade Dancer, NCAA Football, Valkyrie Profile, and Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection. There you go. There is a solid slate of games. Nothing, to like change the world or anything like that. But that is a solid slate of games right there.
With that month.
Yeah. That is not a bad slate of games. That is perfectly acceptable. I'll take it. Good job, PSP. Way to pull us out of the dregs. And here comes N-Gage to bring us right back in. What do we got?
To suck us right back down.
2006. What was still cooking in July of 2006? Nothing. Right, we had this conversation. The last game on the N-Gage was Warhammer 40k Glory and Death in April 2006, except, for reasons unknown, almost 2 years later, in March 19th, 2008, Metal Gear Solid Mobile came out for N-Gage.
Because why not?
Because
just
why
that
not?
That feels like wanting to make people who were trying to collect all of the Metal Gear games have a really difficult one to track down. It feels intentional.
Like Kojima very specifically was like, I like the N-Gage. I am making this game for it. And everyone in his life was like, what's an N-Gage?
And he was like, it doesn't matter, because I'm Kojima. And I do whatever the fuck I want. Did you see his quote this week about wanting to die in a movie theater right before the movie starts?
Yeah. Wow.
What a fucking wackadoo thing to say. I love that guy.
Yeah. That's pretty strange. Okay, Xbox 360. For July 2006, in Xbox 360, we've got Lord of the Rings, Battle for Middle-earth 2. We've got Prey. Okay, the original Prey.
There you go.
That's a good one. Yeah. Chrome Hounds. Sure.
Okay.
I feel like some people liked it. I remember selling a decent amount of Chrome Hounds. That was a game that moved. Elder Scrolls 4, that's Oblivion. That had some DLC. NCAA Football 2007. What else we got? Anything else in July? We've got, no, nothing. That's it. Okay. Look, hey, that's a game. That's one more game than no games at all.
That's fair.
Yeah. That is indeed fair. And I don't think PlayStation 3 comes out in November. Yeah. We're all good here. That's it for the 20. Okay, some signs of life. It's not the end of the world. We've got signs of life here. But let's go back to the 30, where again, I feel like we're going to be let down. I feel like we're set up for disappointment here because I looked at this earlier. 1996. Let's go. Super Nintendo Entertainment System, still on the market. We've had some pretty good games this year on Super Nintendo in 96. But what of July? Man, there's a lot of Super Nintendo games. Scrolling. Holy crabs. Come on. 96. There we go. October, August, July 1996. There's one game. Bassmasters Classic Pro Edition. It's going to be a tough one to beat.
What can you say?
Nothing, clearly. It's Bassmasters Classic Pro Edition. It's not just Bassmasters Classic, it's the Pro Edition.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, because I was gonna make a joke, but this is the Pro Edition that we're talking about. Like, the regular edition is it's fine, but like the professional, Kris.
That is what it's short for. That is that word abbreviates.
It is, in fact, just pro.
The Sega Genesis actually had seven games. Arcade Classics, Breakthrough, Iron Hammer, Olympic Summer Games, TNN Outdoors Bass Tournament 96, and World Series Baseball 96. I mean, World Series Baseball is pretty solid. I remember that series being good. But the rest of those are certainly video games.
They are indeed.
But none of those are Pro Editions.
No. No.
They may be editions, but I didn't see the word Pro anywhere, and therefore they're inferior. What about the Neo Geo AES? Come on. What do we got here? July 1996? Ragnargard. I've never heard of that one.
No.
But apparently it came out in North America on the Neo Geo AES. July 26th, 1996. Neo Geo still kicking. What of the Jag? What of the Jaguar? What do you got for me? I feel like there was nothing this month on Jaguar. That's my guess. What do you think?
I mean, probably not.
Good God. Look at this. So Jaguar went 2 in January, 1 in February, 1 in March, 1 in April, nothing else until December. Good God. Now we talk about the GameCube being rough times, like being an Atari fan back then. Yikes.
Yeah.
Yikes,
that's
Aroni,
bad.
the San Francisco treat. I'll tell you what's bad. Base is loaded. And bad for me anyway. Unless you guys have scored already.
Well, let's see. How many are there? 2 outs?
2 outs, yeah.
All right. Well, at least it won't be a Noble Tiger, because that is just the most embarrassing of things. Do you know what a Noble Tiger is, Kris?
I do not.
Okay, so this was a term that was coined on I believe it was the Detroit Tigers subreddit. It might have been like a fan message board, but I'm pretty sure it was the Detroit Tigers subreddit, because it had happened a few times to them, like 5 years ago, 6 years ago. It's not a very old phrase. And it stands for, I always fuck it up. Let me see. No outs, bases loaded. Fuck. No outs, bases loaded, and something team enabled to get the easy run is what a Noble Tiger is. So it means you have bases loaded, nobody out, and you don't score a run.
That's outstanding.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking great. But it wasn't 2 outs, so it doesn't matter. What the fuck does the E stand for? That's going to bother me now. This is clearly more important than this fucking horrid 10, 20, 30, 40 that we are dealing with currently.
There were no releases for the 3DO. The PlayStation 1, still in its infancy, had the original Worms, which is where my Annelid joke came from earlier.
Yes.
Gunship 2000.
Sorry. Oh. No outs, bases loaded, ending with team incapable of getting easy run. Noble Tiger.
Damn.
Also, excellent band name. Anyway.
Yeah. We have Gunship 2000 and SimCity 2000, both released in 1996. Olympic Soccer, Little Big Adventure, Olympic Summer Games, Aquanauts Holiday? I don't think that came out in America.
I love the Aquanauts.
And the first Namco. Look at that, the first Namco Museum and Killing Zone. Oh, how pleasant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Love the Aquanauts. So cute.
Nothing to write home about except the original Namco Museum. You gotta remember, those were kind of a big deal back then. Like,
sorry,
getting...
I'm just over here rambling. I'm thinking of the wrong thing.
Of the Snorks?
No. Not the... The fuck? They're not the Aquanauts. What the fuck were they called? Octonauts. That's what it was. The Octonauts was a kid show that my kids watched when they were kids. The Aquanauts is a very different thing.
Well done.
Yeah, sorry. All right, I'll shut up now.
All right, the PlayStation... I was mentioning the Namco Museum. That actually wasn't... those were kind of a big deal back then, because you didn't get arcade perfect games at home until around this generation.
Right.
Yeah, you got a bunch of ports and stuff, but generally speaking, no, you didn't really get... Sorry, John found like a giant piece of like mushroom or something that was growing on a log, and now he's over there like peeling it off of a log with a stick of some sort, or at least he's trying to. Yeah. It's fantastic. I'm so glad he's out here. I love this. Anyways, back to business. The Saturn also got NHL Power Play 96, Galaxy Fight, Decathlete, The Legend of Oasis. That's kind of a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I never played much of it. It's a what is it? It's a sequel to Beyond Oasis. It's a sequel to Beyond Oasis for Genesis. And I feel like this let people down. He's showing the mushroom to the dog. Throw it in the fire, see what happens.
The dog?
Oh, fantastic.
Jesus,
no, not
Kris.
the dog. Not
Holy
the dog,
shit.
the mushroom. Don't.
I'll tell you what happens. You don't need to It's not going to
And
enjoy
how do
it.
you know what happens when you throw a dog in a fire?
I'm fucking extrapolating. I grew up in... Or I didn't grow up. I spent time in Texas. Lousy with dog fires. I don't fucking know.
Dog fire. Okay.
There's no video this week. I'm so unfocused.
Yeah. Me too. That's not true. That's impossible.
That's improbable? Anyway.
All right, N64 isn't out till September, right? We don't have to start N64 yet? Yeah, no, we're good. Virtual Boy's done. Oh, that just leaves Game Boy and Game Gear.
Oof.
Come on, guys. What do we got?
Yeah, we really should just be talking about the Avengers trailer.
Yeah.
It's much more engaging.
This is brutal. This is just brutal.
Yeah, this is
I know
bad.
at some point, Game Boy is really going to pick up. Like, I know it is, but I don't remember exactly when that starts happening. Like, it's in the... I don't even... Are we in the post-Pokemon? Did we talk about Pokemon yet? Did that happen?
I don't remember.
I don't think it did. July 96. I'm just looking ahead a little bit to see if I can spot Pokemon. Or how would I just search it? P-O-K-E-M.
Pokemon?
Oh, geez, that's not until 98.
Oh,
wow.
Okay.
All right, so we got a little bit longer of some light Game Boy months here, but let's see. What happened in July of 96? Just one, NHL 96. Okay.
All right.
I mean, like, that could be worse.
Nose could be gushing blood?
Turns on when you apply power. Was anything released on Game Gear in July of 96? November, September, July 96. Bugs Bunny and Double Trouble. Okay.
Huge.
Okay. We've had precious few games really worth talking about here. Let's see if the 40 can do us any better. The Atari 2600. Right, the Atari 2600 I think is coming back. I think this is where we're at. 1986. July 1986, the Atari 2600 is back for the first time since August of 1985. And it came back with track and field.
How is track and field?
It's pretty cool. It came with a specific controller. The Atari 2600 had a track and field controller. This is a pretty, as far as let's see, price charting goes. As far as Atari 2600 games go, this is actually one of the more expensive ones. That's not like super bizarre.
Right.
Track and field Atari 2600. Yeah. Let's see here. Loose price goes for $45. Complete price $700.23.
Oof. That's a lot of dollars.
A complete track and field is pretty hard to find. Like, you just don't see those out there. I don't think this game was produced in very high numbers, and the complete one comes with the controller. So yeah, it's a lot. The controller itself goes for around $100. That's pretty cool. Here's what bothers me. Box only, $240.
Why?
So you could buy the cartridge for $45 and the box for $240 and not come anywhere near $700.23. You could buy the box, the manual, the cart, and the controller separately for less than the complete price goes for.
That's
What
real
the
fucking
hell?
dumb.
Yeah, it is. But that's not, it's not mine to judge. What of the Intellivision, sirs? Are we back yet with Intellivision? Right, because this is the time when all those that generation started making its like kind of post NES comeback.
Yeah.
Right, that was May. We skipped June and July. Intellivision will be back in August, so we'll just put a pin in that. What of the 5200? Are you still cooking? I know there was at least one or two more releases on this that we didn't get to. 1986. Nope, nothing yet. Couple in September, nothing we can talk about yet. And the ColecoVision. No. See, I tried to come up with what's a like a formal name for Coleco, like what would Coleco be a nickname for? Collings Ecoberg Vision. I mean, really. No, nothing. ColecoVision actually is done, I think.
Yeah.
Did we? Yeah, 85. That was it. Yeah, ColecoVision is done. Well, John threw a bunch of leaves on the fire, and that was large. And bright. NES has to have something, right? We're past the launch period. Let's go 1986. Let's get the business. Come on. Show me potato salad. Oh, that wasn't correct. Scrolly scrolls. All right, 1986, we've got nothing. Wow, we skipped right over. We finally come back. The thing launches in October 85, and then we don't have anything until June of 86. We get a whole stack of games, and then they just skip July.
Yeah.
August. We've got more games in August.
You ungrateful shits.
We should still be playing Donkey Kong Jr. Math.
That's right, we should.
In July. That's what we should be doing. Another game that's weirdly expensive. What about the 7800? How you doing? May. Again, August. We go from May to August. Just screw you, July. Mash System isn't out yet. And do we have a Game & Watch? This is the last bastion right here. This is it. July. What do we got? Well, let me just instead of searching July, I'm just going to search 1986. 1986.
Okay.
Let's see, that's in April of 96. June. There we go. Climber. Climber was released on July
classic.
4th, 1986. Climber. I wonder if this is in any way related to Ice Climber. Like, if this is just... I have no idea.
If this is just like Mountain Climber, but they thought it was implied. Whereas, like, Ice Climber, you actually need to tell somebody about.
It's like, is Ice Climber the untold sequel to Climber? See, now I have to know. Let's see. Climber. Game and Watch. What is the history of Climber Nintendo fandom? So, the box art's pretty interesting. It doesn't look... Well, there is a pterodactyl. It's green instead of purple. So that's not completely unrelated. Climber is a Game & Watch video game released in the crystal screen format in 1986 and the new widescreen format in 1988. The game was never released in Japan, and an estimated 250,000 of the new widescreen version were produced by Nintendo. Blah, blah, blah. Some speculate that the game is based on the Ice Climber NES game, though this is unconfirmed. Okay.
Oh. Unconfirmed, you say?
It's. I know. I'm going to confirm it right here. Confirm the shit out of it. Boom. Confirmed.
Done.
Yeah, that's it. The Climber series is now a thing. Says wow. I like this box art, though. I love classic Nintendo box art. This is so cool. I wonder who drew this.
Steve.
You're like this weird dude that like giant red boots and headphones, it looks like. And there's like a brick and a spiky vine and a dinosaur and a pterodactyl or a dragon with a beak or something. I don't know.
A dinosaur,
it's freaking weird,
a pterodactyl, or a dragon. It's any of those.
A flying lizard-related creature. It's Lizard Adjace.
Lizard Adjace.
All right, that's the 10, 20, 30, 40. We'll. I think perhaps we take ourselves a break, and then we'll cover Avengers in the checkpoint. I think.
Yeah,
that
big
makes
woof.
the most sense.
That was
brutal. That might be one of our worst 10, 20, 30, 40s yet. That was just the drizzling shits, as you would say.
The drizzling shits.
And with that, yeah, we'll take ourselves a quick break. When we come back, we're going to check in with week-old news, and in some cases, 2-week-old news.
Oh.
You're listening to the Stone Age Gamer podcast from Geekade.com. Stick around.
Hey, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Andy. Neither of us are David Crane, but we are the hosts of David Crane's Amazing Movie Time.
That's our monthly Geekade Patreon exclusive podcast that covers movies that are cult classics, weird, or just sometimes laughably bad.
We ourselves have at least 2 of those qualities, so I guess it makes sense to hear what we think of those movies in retrospect.
You can hear all that and more by becoming a Geekade Patreon supporter.
And, as always, be kind, rewind.
Hi everyone, Kris here. Podcast listening is free, but podcast creation is not. That's why the Geekade Patreon exists. In an effort to help us pay the bills, we've got a Patreon page set up where you can gain access to our monthly podcast topic schedule, get early access to many of our shows, and more. If you'd like to help support Geekade and keep these shows running week after week, head over to the Geekade Patreon page, linked in the show notes of this very podcast. All right, everybody, we are back. I'm still outside. There's still fire. The Phillies are still losing. I still have a dog. John ate some ice cream. That was his first time eating Haagen-Dazs. Right, so we went to the nutritionist not that long ago, and we're like, he's doing okay. He's gaining weight. Let's see if we can find some more calories. Probably the most calorie-dense ice cream you can get is Haagen-Dazs, which, of course, is the most expensive.
Of course.
But, man, that's good ice cream.
Haagen-Dazs is really good. They don't...
Yeah.
They don't do the crazy shit as well as Ben and Jerry's does, but like,
no,
I certainly prefer, like, if I'm just gonna have like a vanilla ice cream, right?
Yeah,
or
if you're
like
going
a chocolate
just
ice cream.
the plain flavors, Haagen-Dazs really is
Haagen-Dazs is where it's at.
Business.
Haagen-Dazs coffee ice cream, fuck, dude.
That's the Crusty Demons right there.
That's the Crusty Demons of the ice cream world.
All right, well, that means it's time for my favorite segment, your favorite segment, everyone's favorite segment. Strap yourselves in for Week Old News.
Strapped, loaded, ready to go.
Welcome to Week Old News, where we talk about all the news that was new a week ago. Did I put this one in here, or did you?
No, I did.
I think I have this story somewhere else in here.
Out there.
Yeah, I definitely put this story somewhere in here. Was it in hardware? No.
No, I don't see it.
How bizarre. Anyways.
How bizarre.
Yeah.
How bizarre.
IGN reports Switch 2 customers have no right to U.S. tariff refunds, Nintendo argues, as they received exactly what they bargained and paid for. Plaintiffs are not entitled to a rebate. So we had a big old conversation about this in the Discord.
Yeah.
When this news story broke. And it's an interesting conversation to have. I am of the mindset that I don't feel that I'm owed anything. I wasn't promised the Switch 2 at a cheaper price. And I know there was an increase in price in some of the accessories. But yeah, I don't know, man. How do you feel about this one?
So, look, anybody, if you thought you might get a refund back, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, that's just not how this shit works. Like, is it possible that Nintendo could at some point be like an ambassador kind of program? Like, if you had a Switch 2 registered online by this particular date, like they did with the 3DS or whatever. Right, or the DS, whatever the fuck the ambassador program
That was the 3DS, but that was a very different situation.
I know. It completely different, where apples and wrenches, like completely different situation. I understand that. I'm just saying, they could maybe do that to extend some amount of goodwill. They absolutely don't have to. The customer is always going to get fucked on this sort of thing. Always. Was the Switch 2 priced any higher because of tariffs?
Fucked.
According to them, well, hold on. According to them, no, it wasn't. The Switch 2 was not priced any higher. The accessory prices were increased because of the tariffs, and they said that without saying that. They, whatever the fuck legalese they used, changing market conditions or whatever. They said, but it was the tariffs. Like, everybody knows it was the tariffs. So it's okay that it was the tariffs.
The tariffs were dumb.
Tariffs are dumb. Tariffs aren't dumb. Tariffs are not dumb. They're necessary.
Were dumb.
This particular set of shit, and illegal, obviously. But to pretend like a company, any company, was going to just give money back to customers is silly. Everybody has been screaming for years at this point that the customers are going to pay the tariffs. We, as customers, get fucked by tariffs. Always and forever. And I'm not talking just about the Switch 2 in particular. I'm saying in general. Any increase in tariff amount, we are going to pay. That's just the way it works. Sorry, like, did anyone expect anything different?
I mean, I think the companies pay the tariffs and then increase their prices to then make that money back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We're not directly paying the tariffs. I think is a piece of. I think that's an important distinction, because I feel like there are people that think that's what happened, I guess, because I wonder what the notion behind, like, so Nintendo's getting a refund for the tariffs that they paid.
Right.
And there are people that are like, okay, well, where's my money back? Like, okay, but I don't understand. I guess it never would have even occurred to me to be like, oh, wow, that sucks. Because I just look at it like, oh, a thing went on sale after I bought it. Sucks to be me, but that happens. Like, that's just kind of the way I look at it, as a sort of similar situation as that. Because, like, this is just a thing that happened. Like, let's say
I don't know that I would necessarily go so far as to say that this is a thing like a sale. And the only reason I wouldn't say that, and I kind of see, like, what you're getting at, but, like, we know that prices were increased because of the tariffs. Again, not on the Switch 2 console, but we know that, and I'm just speaking broadly here, right? We know that prices of things have gone up because of these absurd tariffs that were put into place.
Right.
That's not an item going on sale, right? Like,
right. I'm saying it feels like a similar situation. Not that it's the same thing, but it feels like that kind of logic, I guess. Like, Nintendo got a bunch of money back for a thing. I don't feel like I'm owed that money because they still priced this item, right? So Nintendo did what they did, and then they priced these items at this price. They said, this is what these non-essential items are going to cost. And I agreed to that price. Why would I be entitled to get money back?
I think more my issue here is that you just should have said nothing. You just should have said nothing. You know what I mean?
Like, said nothing.
Like, the quote they received exactly what they bargained and paid for. Well, like, I can make the argument that so did you. You know what I mean? Like, you agreed to ship your system under this tariff. You didn't delay it until your legal battle was finished. You got what you bargained and paid for. So why should you get money back?
Sue them?
You know what I mean?
The tariff money back?
What's that?
It's my understanding that Nintendo didn't specifically sue the U.S. government to get the tariff money back. The tariffs were determined to be illegal, and the government was required to refund them to the companies. Not the companies that asked for it, but companies that paid it.
I thought I remembered that Nintendo was suing the government. Like, isn't that why we haven't heard of anyone else doing this?
I'm really not sure.
I thought that was a thing that we had talked about before.
Nintendo raised the price to Switch to blah, 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 blah. Financial margins under pressure due to declining prices, and last year, the U.S. tariffs rolled out by the Trump administration, Switch 2 pre-orders in the U.S. and Canada were even delayed as a result. A year later, and the U.S. Supreme Court has now deemed those tariffs were illegal, with refunds promised to businesses who paid them from a collective $160 billion tariff refund.
I got you. It's not in the article. Nintendo of America sued the United States government on March 6, 2026, demanding full refunds on import tariffs. Key details include the U.S. Court of International Trade filing, the Supreme Court's ruling against the tariffs, and a separate consumer lawsuit against Nintendo. It was filed in the U.S. Court of International Trade against the Department of the Treasury, Homeland Security, and other agencies. This comes after the February 20th Supreme Court decision. So yes, Nintendo did sue the government for this money back.
Well, okay then.
Yeah. So
I stand corrected.
But
in that case, yeah, sure.
That's why I have an issue with what they said.
Yeah.
Like, this
because
comes
you're right.
off.
Then they did get exactly what they bargained for, and they fought for getting a refund in a way that we can't. So
right.
Yeah, no, I completely reversed my position on that.
Yeah. Now, like,
except
again,
in that, how exactly would that even work?
I'm not going to go so far as to say I feel like I am owed a refund. I bought the Switch 2 when I bought it, not because I was worried about tariff increases. I bought it because I was worried in particular about the RAM shortage and all of that stuff, and I knew that the price was going to go up eventually, which indeed it has, right? So this isn't exactly my fight. And again, Nintendo was very smart. They said that the price of the Switch 2 has not increased because of the tariffs. That was never the wording that they used around that. But they did, like I said, with the accessories and shit. But yeah, it's really just that dickhead comment of they received exactly what they bargained and paid for. So did you. And you get to have your money back, and consumers, again, continue to get fucked. Corporations don't care. They don't.
Yeah.
Like,
they should do something. I don't know what they should do, but they should do something. Like, if they're getting all this money back, you know, for effectively the same situation, they should do something. As far as issuing direct refunds, I just, logistically speaking, I wouldn't even know how to begin to do something like that with the accessory prices and stuff like that. Like, how do you really determine how much people are owed from these specific things, who bought what from what retailers, and how do you even track stuff like that? Because, you know, if it was consoles, that's one thing. Everything, you know, is serial numbered. If it's, you know, controllers, that's a horse of a different color. But doing something, not entirely dissimilar to the ambassador program. You know, that seems like something that would be a nice piece of goodwill.
Right, and that's why I brought up the ambassador program, right? I know it's not at all the same situation, but give people...
to do something, to give people something. And I've been saying for quite a while that Nintendo is in a unique position to do something, right? Like, just do something small, a small gesture to, just give some folks some goodwill, some hope, some something.
Yeah.
In a world where we're all getting so very little. And like, yeah, it was neat that Star Fox and Splatoon weren't $80. But that's not really enough. Like
that. No, sure. Like, and you know, I was looking at picking up Splatoon today and it's $60 and I'm like, okay.
I mean, like $60 for a full-on game? Sure, that's where we were. That's where things were for ages. $60 ain't bad.
Yeah.
I expected it to be $70. I expected Star Fox to be $70. They weren't. So that's cool. They weren't $70. Cool. They weren't $80. They were what used to be regular price. But again, is that really enough to make up for this? Are they going to lower the accessory price? Well, I mean, of course, you know, it's not just the tariffs now. It's all the everything now. All the other parts are more expensive for other reasons. Yeah.
Prices aren't going back down. Now that we are so far through the fucking looking glass of, like, for the most part, like, we'll talk a little bit here this week about, like, certain sales being down in a couple different categories. But for the most part, like, shit is still selling. Prices aren't going down. Like, we all did the stupid thing. They raised prices and we went, well, I mean, what were we just talking about with the tickets for the Weezer concert before we came back? It's just the price of doing business. If nobody bought the fucking tickets, prices would go down. That's not what's happening. The Steam machine continues to sell out. Like,
yeah, they're not going to lower that price because people are willing to pay it.
People are willing to pay it. So,
but that's short-sighted, and that's where I see Nintendo having a real opportunity, and really anybody who decides to do this has the opportunity by offering some sort of discount line. Because you
Sony
can get away
and
with
Microsoft
charging this much.
Continue to fuck this up week after week. Nintendo really could jump in here, but again, this is the company that charged $10 for Welcome Tour. Like
that, it is. But again, their history of insanity. Their history of insanity makes it so, like, sure, of course they did that because they can do super counterintuitive things all the time and still be within their realm of personality, right? Nintendo can do things that are both terrible and weirdly good at the same time. That's not out of the ordinary for them. So if they were to, say, release a player's choice line, release their biggest hits from like 5 or 6 years ago that they're still selling at $70 a pop, drop those down to $20, you've made your money off of Mario Kart 8. Get those Switch games down to like super cheap.
Yep.
Just introduce that line. Continue
and give
to move
one
units.
of them away.
Give one of them away. Like this bundle deal they've got going on with the Switch 2 right now with the free digital game. Keep that going. Just keep that going.
Yeah.
That's that's a really good deal. Just change the games from time to time. Mario Kart DK Bonanza or Pokopia. There you go. That's a really good way to make up for some of this nonsense.
Yeah, I mean,
but they could do better. And I wish that they would.
They've got options here, but
they do.
Anyways, Nintendo Life reports latest physical sales data proves the format is, in fact, dying. Sony obviously recently announced the ending of the production of physical media for the PS5. I think the other thing, just as a little editorial note here as an aside, the reason that there will be no new physical games as they prepare for the PS6 is because it's going to be a portable system like the Switch. There's not going to be a disk drive. There's not going to be a cartridge slot. It's going to be a combination system that you can plug into your TV. There is not going to be room for physical media. That is my prediction. Anyway.
I disagree. I think it's going to be a hulking behemoth because something of that kind of power is going to need to be, but they don't want to spend the money to incorporate a disk drive because disk drives are expensive moving components, and if they just remove them entirely, the system is a lot cheaper for them to produce.
Maybe. We will see relatively soon where we're at, but
we shouldn't, but we probably will.
Yes. So, according to Matt Piscatella from Circana, just 2 PS5 games sold more than 10,000 physical copies in the U.S. during the week ending the 11th of July, 2026. In addition, only 7 other titles have sold more than 100,000 physical copies throughout the entire year this year. And they go on to say, you might be thinking, sure, but that's Nintendo. Or that's PlayStation. Nintendo sells way more physical games. Christopher Dring, who runs the games business, notes that just 1,000 physical sales would have netted you the number 9 spot in the UK sales chart. 1,000 physical sales. Star Fox would have been number 9. It's done. It's over. It's over. Sorry, guys. We all lost. But it's done. And, like, I know Sony is catching a lot of shit for this, and they should be. They have not handled it well. There's certainly messaging that could have been done better to make this go down a little easier. There's ways I think that this could have been done, because again, they made it all about them. Like, you know, we're not going to make physical games because you fuckers aren't buying them, and it costs us money to produce them, and we want more money. Like, that's the way that came off, you know. But physical sales it's just a dying format, and that,
to be fair,
fucking sucks.
These are UK numbers that you're talking about. These are not worldwide numbers. These are UK numbers.
This is everywhere.
There is more to it than that. I'm not saying that physical is a huge part of anyone's business right now. I still 100% stand by what I said before, that PlayStation has been pushing for this direction, whereas Nintendo sees more of a value in the physical market, because there is value to it. I think something that Nintendo Life said at the bottom about just downscaling the amount of production you do for physical media, do it differently. Find a different way to keep it in gear, because as we've seen, yes, there is a physical market, because Limited Run is still in business and they still sell the fuck out of things.
Oh, like, sure.
That's just a thing. That is something that is undeniable. That happens. It's not over. It's just that Sony has been pushing for this forever. They put almost no effort into their physical side of their business. They removed the damn disk drive and made you buy it separately, for crying out loud. That's not what they want you to do.
I mean, not at launch.
No, not at launch, but as soon as they could get away with getting that disk drive off of there, they did. And, you know, okay, good for them. But there is still an audience for their games. And it's not what it used to be. And if they wanted to push that more, I'm sure those sales could improve. And again, we're just talking about the UK with these specific numbers. I would be interested to see how much different it is in North America. I'm sure it's not that much bigger, but I do think that there is more of a physical collector's market in North America and Japan. But I could be wrong.
I'm sure there is. Just from the ancillary research we've done with the people that we've talked to, you know, that we've interviewed from the UK and whatnot, there's definitely more of a collector thing over here. But, I mean, look.
There's a market for it. It should continue to be a part of your business. Maybe not every game gets a physical right away, or even if ever. It's a really complicated thing, because there is the importance of physicality, not just in terms of preservation, because, like, you can preserve digital games just fine. Like, yeah, the 7 Cs exist. That's not really a problem. But the physical collectability of things, the ability to hand a game to somebody else and give it to them as a gift, to wrap something under your Christmas tree, to give it as a birthday present, to lend it to a friend, to even have a rental market, that kind of thing. There is positives to the physical market that do long-term good for a company, not just short term. And that's where I see PlayStation and Xbox running into the same problem that they frequently do when they do things like Game Pass and whatnot that seem like this great idea up front, but it sacrifices so much in the long term. And I am pretty sure I said a long time ago about Game Pass that it was devaluing the games themselves. Like, okay, but now you can't tell, well, how well did this game perform? Who can say? Because there's no sales data, nobody bought the game. A lot of people played the game, but nobody bought the game. And those numbers are still going to count against those studios, which is why they all closed. Because, well, they're not generating a whole lot of revenue. Well, who can say what they're generating? Because it's all wrapped up under this umbrella of subscription services. It's broken on a fundamental level, which is why I prefer, if anyone's going to do one of those services like that, I still think there should be an option to purchase them, but I prefer Nintendo's route of like, well, we're just going to make our legacy content that. New games aren't going to be a part of this.
Right.
I think that's a better strategy. It's not a perfect strategy, but I think it's a better strategy than wrapping up, well, the latest and greatest game you get for free if you are a part of this subscription service for as long as you're subscribed to this service. So people will do that instead of buying the games, and then those game studios wind up not generating enough money because you can't have people buying more and more subscriptions. One person can't buy multiple subscriptions throughout the course of a fucking year. And that should have been obvious to everyone involved in these things, but it wasn't, because it's infinite money forever. Yes,
it was
but this
obvious
one
to
person will
everybody
pay
else.
the subscription every year. Yeah, but then they would also have bought $160, like 6 or 7 $60 games, like a year at least. Right?
Oh, yeah.
It all seems to make so much sense. So there is a purpose to the physical aspect of this over the digital aspect, but both of them need to coexist. Similar to vinyl, similar to records in music. There is something to that physical product that enough people want to own that it makes it a worthwhile business. These companies just need to find a way to continue to make it a worthwhile business. Is it going to be a boutique collectory kind of thing like Limited Run? Maybe that's just the future. Maybe the future of physical game sales aren't really seeing them in Best Buys or Targets going forward, but you'll see them in game stores and most of it's mail order. But having that physical option for those who want it, there is an importance to that. There is something to that. They just need to find a way to balance it. There needs to be a way for the industry to balance itself out. This movement that I don't think we put this news story in here, but there was something about backwards compatibility moving forward with Xbox, where your physical discs can be used as sort of game keys for PC. That's cool. You still have the physical thing, and now the physical thing gives you access to a digital version of that thing. That's the future that I want to see, where I buy a game and I can have this physical one, but I also get the digital version with it. So I don't have to keep, swapping out the cartridges or whatever. Right. But this is my backup. I can put this on my shelf and remember it like a book on a bookshelf kind of a thing. And God forbid in the future, the digital version disappears, or they shut down the servers or whatever, I can still put that cartridge in and play, maybe not the ultimate version, right, with all the updates and things like that if I don't have them saved on my console, but I can still physically play the game.
Well, and speaking to that, PlayStation Network was down for 6 hours today. And sorry, you lost access to games.
No PlayStation for you.
And that is just going to happen more and more in the future. But it just is.
Of course it is. But to some people that weren't even going to play their games today, they probably didn't even notice. For a lot of people, the longevity and the being able to have it forever really doesn't matter. For a lot of people, games are disposable. A lot of people watch, like, there was a period of time when TV shows started showing up on DVD, and it was like, I'm going to buy this so I can watch it over and over again forever and ever. And then how many people actually did that? How many people really went back and watched those DVDs over and over again forever and ever versus bought, like, Leave It to Beaver or some show that they're going to watch, like, maybe once or twice? And
Why did you buy all the seasons of Gilmore Girls? You're not going to go back and watch that. You know what the fuck Lorelai is up to.
All right, I'm gonna call you on that one because I have rewatched Gilmore Girls a couple of times.
Have you rewatched your DVD copies that you bought though?
No, I stream those, but
this is what I'm saying.
Rewatch, yes. To put in the DVDs to do it, no, not so much. I don't own Gilmore Girls on DVD. I thought about it, but I don't. But there is also something to be said. Like, a lot of us talk about the preservation and the keeping the things, and I want to be able to play it 20 years from now. Most people aren't really like that. And
no, they're not.
The fact that games are disposable is just fine to most people. And we were just there was a discussion in the Discord about Roblox of like, yeah, those games, are they going to be around like 20, 30 years from now? Are you going to be able to go back and replay your Roblox games when you were a kid? Probably not. Maybe. Who the hell knows?
Yeah.
But not everything. What is a Vision's line? A thing isn't beautiful because it lasts.
Right.
We can save what we can, and it's important to save what we can. But also, there are some things that just aren't going to be able to last forever. Like, at the end of the day, I'm talking about the importance of the physicality in games, but how do you make a physical version of Vampire Survivors? What goes on a physical version of Vampire Survivors? A game that is continuously being updated. What is what is the value in a physical version of Minecraft? You get this core experience, but also Minecraft is an ever-evolving platform in and of itself. Fortnite. You going to sell a physical copy of Fortnite? There's no purpose to a physical version of Fortnite. It's just not a thing. All a physical version of Fortnite would be is a launcher, because the game itself is ever-evolving and ever-changing. There are some games that by their very nature can't have a good, proper physical backup, and that just has to be okay. So there just has to be a balance. There has to be a balance.
I think we've really kind of hit the point where we have the physical things that we need. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because to your point, when do you make that physical version of Vampire Crawlers or Vampire Survivors? You do it when they're done. Right? When they're done updating and like, all right, this was the last update. But then who's buying it then?
Exactly. What is the purpose other than, for the small amount of people who are like me would want to have a physical rendition of this game that they care about, just to have something on their shelf. But for that respect, I bought the soundtrack on vinyl. I have a physical Vampire Survivors thing in my life. That kind of scratches the itch.
Just print a cover and throw it in a fucking box and call it a day.
Exactly. I'm not going to take a game card out and put Vampire Survivors in a console 30 years from now.
No.
That's just not going to happen. But, when I play The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past with Ellie, I'm going to pick up my physical cartridge and be like, this is the game. This is what it looked like. Here's the instruction manual. Here's the box. Now boot it up on Switch Online so we have a rewind function. It's...
Exactly.
But that's the balance we've got to hit. There's always going to be a market for people who want physical things. But
that market's just less and less. Like
exactly. But if you foster it,
and as we
keep it going, you can keep it alive.
Unfortunately, as we continue to move in the direction we're moving, where, gas is back up to almost $5 a gallon, by me anyway. I was in the city all week. It's over $5 a gallon in Philly. Everything is more expensive. So if I can get a digital game on sale on Steam for a couple of bucks, that's where I'm going. Like buying the physical special editions of shit or paying. And like, I think Nintendo is actually doing it this way too. Like, I know they're offering physical products, and we've been screaming about this for years, but like, they're going to push a lot more digital sales when people realize that digital shit is $10 cheaper. Because, like, I could have run out to the store today and picked up Star Fox for $60, or not Star Fox, fucking Splatoon, or I could get it for $50 if it's digital. Right? Is that them pushing? Is that supporting physical? Yes. Is it pushing digital? I would also argue yes.
I mean, I think it works in both ways. I think, like, I didn't mind paying a little bit extra for the physical one because that makes sense. You know, you're getting a physical thing, so that math checks out. That's the kind of thing that I don't necessarily mind. I'd rather them make the physical thing and charge a little bit more than not make the physical thing, and then what's the incentive to make the digital thing less in the first place? Like,
right. I'm not saying I don't agree with that. I'm just saying I think we need to be careful when we're, again, looking for a company to be doing the right thing.
Right. That's the fool's errand right there. Except when it makes good business sense. When the good thing also makes good business sense. That's what we need that's what we need more companies to be able to see. That the good thing can also make good business sense. And that was something Nintendo used to be very good at, which was looking at the broader picture, looking at the long game, and thinking, well, what's gonna build goodwill with our customers? You know, that gets us more money in the long run. Forget the altruism of it. Just what builds goodwill, what makes return customers is not just a good product, but everything that comes along with it. That kind of, building that kind of culture, that's what made Nintendo the brand that it is today, that has such an emotional connection with so many people, because it means something to them because of the free posters that used to come in your box, You'd open up a box and there was a bunch of little goodies involved. Then you'd hang a poster on your wall and you're looking at all these games of like, oh, what's going to come out next? Nintendo Power Magazine, like these extra things that were all money-making things. They're all business, but they were also part of the larger culture of it and things that were in service of making things better for players and making things better. Just like anything else, making things better for your customers or more interesting for your customers makes better business sense in the long run.
Yeah.
Having contests and giveaways and that kind of fun stuff, like, that shit means something. The ambassador program. We were talking about the ambassador program. The fact that happened is still brought up today. You do something like that from time to time, that buys you respect in the customer base. And
but they didn't do it because they wanted to. They did it because they were taking a fucking bath on their system.
Well, they could have just dropped the price. But instead, they went to all the people that had previously bought it, and as a gesture of goodwill, offered them a bunch of free games that weren't really much. They were a bunch of Game Boy Advance games that they never sold, but they just, here's a bunch of Game Boy Advance games that function on your 3DS. They did not have to do that.
No,
all
they
that
didn't.
was buying them goodwill. And they knew that made good business sense. To buy that goodwill, just dropping the price probably would have been enough to continue to turn the 3DS around. But buying that extra goodwill with that little gesture that cost them almost nothing, that was what that helped turn around the public image. And that's a problem that most of the companies have right now, is that you can just see the pure evil corporation instead of being like, well, maybe they're not pure evil. They do some nice things for us, right? That nice thing goes a long way.
Where now we just see them cackling.
Yeah, just sitting back in their chairs, what's that old meme of it prints money and Iwata and Miyamoto laughing with dollar bills everywhere, like...
Yeah.
Any hoozles. Video games are fun. I have so much to say on this subject. I've been ruminating on this subject for like 2 weeks now, of trying to get all my thoughts together about the broader notions of physical media versus digital media, and what is the right thing to do in this instance. How do you make things better? How do you make things worse? And all the way down to like the loss of physical stores and the human interaction that used to come with the fact that you would go to a store and talk to a person, and that person would be helpful because it was their job to be helpful, and they had enough staff where you could make a career or something out of being helpful, right? Like going to a store and getting help at a store used to be a job. Service used to be a job, and that required human interaction. And because we've removed so much human interaction from our daily lives and the retail space. We've lost something as a society. There's just this much larger conversation to be had about this, not just in the world of video games, but in all areas of human life. How much we've lost because of things going digital instead of physical.
I think it's undeniable that every advancement that we've had this way has ended up being worse in the long run. Like, I would argue that the loss of the video rental store to Netflix was much more detrimental to the culture around movies than anything else.
I would completely agree.
Not being able to go to the store and talk to that weird dude or that weird chick that always has like a super cool recommendation of a weird movie that you've never seen, and then like it ends up becoming this pivotal thing for you, and that's just not. It's not the same when the algorithm is suggesting things to you that you already like, or you're searching within your predetermined search query to find a thing that is probably something you're gonna, you know what I mean? Like, you're right. There's a much larger conversation to be had about this, but I would argue that none of these technological advancements have benefited the industry nor the consumer, but they have put more money in the billionaires and millionaires' pockets. And really, Kris, when you come down to it, that's what's most important here. Clearly.
That it is. For now, it has put more money in their pockets at the expense, of the long term.
All right.
Anyway,
move on. We'll do a separate podcast about that.
Yeah, we'll do another podcast about that. Let's try to move this along. I just liked this story. IGN reports Games Done Quick cancels sponsored SNK stream due to human rights concerns. SNK is owned by, some less than savory individuals, and Games Done Quick backed out of a sponsored stream. Cool.
That's awesome. GameSpot reports Atari announces... I love this story so much. I'm going to write a blog post about this eventually. Atari announces 10-movie deal with Universal for video game movies based on Atari properties. The 10-movie deal includes Asteroids, Adventure, Berserk, Breakout, Centipede, Crystal Castles, Millipede, Missile Command, Pong, and Yar's Revenge. I'm just saying, Jason Momoa as the Centipede. That's what I want to see. I'm going to come up with some fan cast. Yeah.
Sign me up. I mean, look, we all know video game properties are where it's at right now as far as what Hollywood's going to mine. So, they probably got a pretty sweet deal on these Atari things, because it's not like there's a lot to adapt there, with the exception of Yar's Revenge that has some lore. Like, this is pretty much a blank canvas, so...
Yeah, you're getting a title.
You're
getting a title and a graphic that's recognizable to a certain aged fan, and then beyond that, make a cool movie.
Yeah. Let's see what happens. Speaking of cool, IGN reports Lego Donkey Kong arcade set officially announced. This one leaked a little bit ago. This thing looks cool as shit. If you have the Nintendo Today app, they released the trailer for this thing starring Steve Wiebe, which I thought was hilarious. This looks super cool. I sincerely doubt Stone Age Gamer is going to send one to me because it's more expensive than the other ones. And the two Lego videos that I've posted, while were very fun, I think came out pretty okay, just performed abysmal on YouTube. So I can't imagine it being worth the investment for Stone Age Gamer to send this to me. I'm not spending $200 on a Donkey Kong Lego set because I am not independently wealthy, but it is a really cool looking design.
It is really cool. That is the first... that's the first one that I've really looked at and been like, fuck, dude, maybe. That one I might have to get because that looks outstanding.
Yeah, it does.
GameSpot reports a story that we should have read a minute ago. This PC gamer is making his own physical Steam games, one expensive cartridge at a time. They are an expensive option for preserving PC games. They're also very cool. On the PC Master Gaming Race subreddit, Jabril Sama detailed their plug-and-play approach to playing Steam games. They'd recently purchased a stack of used SATA SSDs, loaded a custom script on them, installed games onto each one, created custom graphics to stick to the case. Once they're done, you just plug it in, and it recognizes the custom code, or the script that's in there, tells it to boot up Steam, tells it to start the game, and there you go. You've got your physical media for your Steam games.
There it is.
Which is pretty neat.
That's all you need.
This,
I agree.
I think is the way to do this going forward.
I think that's a really good idea.
I think USB flash drives are the way to do this going forward.
Wouldn't it be super cool if there was a way to have the physical games that are sold be in some way rewritable so that you could download the update data onto your physical card?
Yeah.
So that you can then keep that on your physical thing.
I mean,
that would be pretty neato.
That sounds like a USB drive to me. But what do I know?
I don't think they ever would, because I'm sure there's some sort of like piracy that could be done with it, but at a certain point, just stop caring.
Yeah.
Just stop caring about that. Anyways, moving right along. IGN reports, this is terrible. God of War show to recast Kratos after Ryan Hurst tears bicep while filming stunt. Woof. That's brutal. That's just a heartbreaker. Like, you hear about folks getting someone gets injured on set, and then the show, it needs to be shooting gets put on hiatus, but to just flat out recast,
it's going to be over a year.
Yeah, that's a recovery right there.
He put on 40 pounds of muscle for this show. They shot a bunch of episodes, and with the amount of time that it's going to take him to recover from the surgery, put the muscle back on, get back into the physical shape that he needs to get into, not just putting the muscle on, but like rehabbing the injury, then putting the muscle on. The kid who's playing Atreyu is not going to look like the same kid. Little kids age very quickly.
Atreyu? Thought it was
not Atreyu. Fucking, you know what I mean.
That's Neverending Story.
Yeah, no, sorry. Why did I say Atreyu? That kid is going to age up, though. You know what I mean? Like, look at like the Harry Potter movies, right? I know.
Yeah.
You look at like who Daniel Radcliffe was at the first Harry Potter movie, and then that's a grown-ass man who's only supposed to be like 5 years older by the end of it, but it's like it's a totally different fucking person, you know?
I know you're ahead of me, but that dude totally did not get hit by that ball.
He absolutely did.
I was watching the replay. You watched the ball go right by his sleeve. He did not get hit.
It touched his sleeve. That counts. I don't think it should count. I think you should have to take a fucking ball to the dick to get on base. But, like, it absolutely touched him.
I disagree. But I'm just watching on my phone.
That's fair. Toy Arc. I just threw this in here because I thought this was cool and kind of ties in with what I figured we would be talking about, and we did talk about. At the Marvel Legends panel, Hasbro announced that they are doing a made-to-order Gamerverse Sentinel. So this is a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 Sentinel. It's 11 inches tall. It has alternate hands, an alternate head, a rocket punch accessory. It's $100, and if you pre-order it by September 7th, you get it. This isn't a limited pre-order. This is, we're going to make however many of you fuckers buy this thing, and then that's it. Right? And I think that while being very cool, this is an awesome figure. I do think I'm going to pick this up because it looks, I don't know if you're looking at the images, it looks so good. It looks so fucking awesome and spot on to the game. I fucking love it. It looks so good.
Yeah, it looks great.
But I also think this is a good way to think about physical game production in the future. This game is coming out at this time. Pre-orders are open up until this date, and at this date, whatever was ordered, that's what we're printing, and off we go.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to do it. Makes sense to me.
Which is why they won't do it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of more or less how Limited Run's been operating for a while now, so
yeah.
Who knows? Any hoozles, Push Square reports Sony's Flex Strike PS5 Fight Stick, that's hard to say, delayed indefinitely, now launches after Marvel ToeCon.
Yeah, it's a big miss. That's that's up there with the He-Man game missing both the theater, and Amazon release.
What the hell, guys? What's the holdup?
You're making a pretty niche fucking product. Why aren't you ready yet? But, you know, whatever. Yeah, I think this is a bummer. Like, I mean, it is and it isn't, right? Because that sort of product, like a wireless fight stick, that's going to sell. That's a pretty niche fucking product, too. That's going to sell to the people it's going to sell to.
Who it's going to sell to, no matter when you release it.
No matter when you put it out.
It just sucks that it's not going to be available in time for ToeCon, which is, you know, a pretty good flagship for something like that.
Yeah, I'm super excited about it. I can't wait. Oh, let's see.
You added this one, so yeah. What are you on about with this?
It's just an interesting observation. Gizmodo reports that Valve's Steam hardware isn't selling too hot, but does it matter? So one of the things in this story, and this is why one of the things that I thought was interesting here, is that according to some pretty smart people doing some pretty in-depth analysis of the Steam machine data, they are estimating that Valve is selling anywhere between 12,000 and 15,000 Steam machines per week. That does not account for which of the 4 SKUs it would be. But that's pretty good, right? Like, it is selling out. You cannot just go get a Steam machine if you want to. However, we also got a month ago, 2 months ago, whatever it was, the news that Valve was raising the price pretty dramatically on the Steam Deck. And that they were dropping the LCD one, I think is what it was, or one of the older. I think they were dropping one of the models. I could be wrong on that. I don't care. And then they were raising the price. It appears that since that announcement in May, sales for the Steam Deck have dropped 80%, which is fucking crazy. Like, that is a nuts ass drop. So I don't know. Maybe the market is correcting itself, or maybe people were like, fuck it, if it's that much, I'll just get the Steam machine. I don't know what to read into that. I just thought it was interesting, kind of in the scope of these conversations that we're having with hardware and software and all of that shit.
Yeah, it's certainly something. I mean,
an 80% drop is
that's a
fucking
lot.
Crazy.
That's not a small number.
That is absurd. But anyway.
Anywho's, speaking of hardware anomalies, Time Extension reports Hyperkin is re-releasing its 15-year-old portable SNES in 2 new designs. Crimson and Prime, the Superboy. We sell these things. I don't think we've had any in stock in quite some time, but we've got some fresh new colors of the Superboy coming, so we'll probably wind up picking some up because they've been a reasonably consistent seller.
This thing's super fun. I like it.
I think you mean super fun.
Super fly. Yeah, I mean, this thing's dumb as
It's
shit.
just neat. Yeah.
But I like it.
But it's neat. It's just a portable Super Nintendo. Like, what more do you need? What more do you want?
What more do you people want to hear? I think it's very cool. This one, kind of a big deal. Again, when we're talking about preservation and cost of things and whatnot, Polygon reports PS5 emulation reaches a new milestone as it loads GTA 5. So this is not saying that we have PS5 emulation. That is years away. But as the headline says, Sony's recent decisions and people being really fucking mad at Sony have led a lot of computer kids to be like, all right, fuck you then. We're just going to do it this way. Get fucked.
Yeah, that's a neat step forward in the world of shmemulation.
Yeah. Love
Keep
a good
coming.
shmemulation.
This is an interesting one. Go Nintendo reports fully functioning Famicom box discovered in a Japanese love hotel.
Love a good love hotel.
So there's been rumors going back for a very long time about whether or not Nintendo was officially involved in making love hotels way back in the old days. But apparently there is an existing one that's just still out there in the world, and it had this Famicom box in it, which is like a multi-game box that would be set up in hotels, and it exists. There it is. It's real, and it's in a Famicom box. It was discovered by a Nintendo historian that stayed at the hotel, and that's wild.
That's super fun.
Still plays games without issue, but the zapper is unfortunately busted.
Aww.
It's still installed and available for play at an unnamed love hotel in Japan. Absolute madness.
Love it.
Well, you guys didn't wreck us. You won 1-0. So you
1-0?
You sucked 1 point less than we did. I'll take it. It's
That
still a loss,
is
but it wasn't a blowout.
respectable. You know it's not respectable, Chris. Time Extension reports that the Mischief Makers Treasures N64 Classic, also known as Yuka Yuka Troublemakers, has been given a native PC port, and that native PC port was, you guessed it, Chris, vibe coded. So it was AI coded, and it's full of mistakes, and it's buggy as shit. Which really sucks, and honestly is probably only going to be a problem for like another year or two before they get better at that shit. But for right now, fuck you. Don't do it. Just play the original. Play the original shmemulation that doesn't have all these vibe-coded problems. Also,
That's how I feel about that.
vibe coding is gross. I don't like that term. It just feels gross.
What else feels gross? Engadget reports Amazon brings Luna game streaming to the Prime Video app. I didn't know Luna was still a thing.
That's why they're doing this. Because no one does. And you have it.
Do I?
If you have Prime, you have this. So
I do not
you
have
can
Prime.
you
I have
could
no
currently
Amazon Prime.
jump
I
on.
cannot.
What's that?
I don't have Prime, so I cannot.
Oh, you don't have Prime?
I don't. We canceled our Prime subscription. You know what we learned? About half the time, as long as you meet the threshold to get free shipping, it'll get to you just as fast as Prime. They'll tell you it'll be later, but they're still going to ship it the same way.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You're not wrong.
I know,
You're
it
not
keeps
wrong.
happening. The first couple of times we ordered something, we were like, shit, this is going to be here, boy, if we had Prime, it'd be here tomorrow, but this says it'll be here Thursday. And then, Monday afternoon rolls around, well, shit.
There it is. Son of a bitch.
It's happened to us 4 or 5 times now. We don't order from Amazon very often. We try to avoid it at all costs because,
Yeah.
Amazon is pure evil.
They are indeed.
But, this is the world we live in. Sometimes you have to get things from Amazon.
Sometimes you have to.
can't just go to the store and get what you're looking for.
More and more
We
frequently.
already talked about this backwards compatibility thing. There's a new Dreamcast survival horror game. Metroid 2, AM2R. You can get an MSU1 soundtrack if you run it on your FX pack. Sorry, it's fucking late. There's a Super FX3 mod for Star Fox, which looks really cool, but... So the Super FX3 mod is neat in that it makes the frame rate more consistent, but it's also running the game like twice as fast to kind of fake it looking smoother.
Yeah.
And I don't care for... I don't like that at all. The thing about Star Fox is that it's such a scripted game, especially in like the the opening cutscene and whatnot, that when things move faster, the music no longer lines up with it. And
right.
That's just kind of bothersome. I want to read more about this story, but apparently the impossible Neo Geo port of Doom could be possible after all, which is just a fun roller coaster ride. Konami confirms that Castlevania is going to launch on Switch the same day as the other platforms. I'm very curious what the delay was, and Xbox starts testing ad-supported streaming.
Because that's our future.
Yeah, that's our future. Everything will be ad-supported for all forever.
Yep. Ad-supported, installment-paid consoles. That's where we're headed.
So we're going to take a break and listen to some ads. I kid. There will be ads, but it's just for us. And no, nobody sponsors us. So
that's right.
It's probably just going to be the Patreon ad. Give us money, please.
Give us money! There you go. I did it.
But yes, that wraps up week old news. That was a fun discussion. I really have... I've been trying so hard to put my thoughts together on some sort of video essay about the state of physical versus digital and the games industry and just industry and retail in general for weeks now, and I just can't find the time and the mental bandwidth to actually put it together. But it was fun to get some of those thoughts out here, because there's a lot to say, and it's an interesting topic. And it's an interesting topic to not only complain about, but also to wonder if there's going to be some sort of bounce back. And the existence of vinyl records today really makes me wonder what the bounce back's going to be. Interesting conversation. Okay.
It is, because I think one of the interesting things, like when you talk about vinyl, I know it's kind of the cliche argument, but like it really does sound different. Like my copy of Rubber Soul sounds different than someone else's copy, sometimes in a good way, sometimes in a bad way. It depends on the pressing. It depends on the way that it's been cared for. It depends on my system. It depends on so many different factors. And that's kind of one of the things that I love about vinyl. There is also kind of a warmth and a depth to vinyl that is lost somewhat in the digital lossless audio format. They sound different. And for people who are like, you can't tell the difference, if you listen to them side by side, you absolutely can tell the difference. The problem
there's
with
also
that,
the intentionality of it.
Oh, absolutely.
There's the intentionality of taking a physical thing and putting it on my record player to listen to versus just throwing something on the iPod and hitting shuffle. Like it's a very different experience, and the same thing goes for games.
Yeah,
picking up that
is
thing
the one
and
commonality.
choosing to put it in your platform. Yeah, that's
the one place where that argument kind of loses a little bit of weight is that whether I'm playing the physical or the digital, it's the same experience.
Yeah, I mean,
not when we're talking about like older games, like with Rewind that's been added and that kind of shit. But like right now, if I buy a game, if I bought Splatoon digitally today, it wouldn't be any different playing it digital or physical. Like, it is the same thing.
Actually, in some ways, the physical version can actually be worse in that the loading times will sometimes be slower on physical versions versus digital versions.
That's also not what you want. I mean, now we're talking milliseconds.
We're talking a very small amount of time, but like I think that was one of the reasons that I forget what game we talked about it with, but there was a game that was a game key card versus the physical one, and they were like, well, the thing is that the time it takes to access the information from a game card versus just loading the information fully digitally to begin with, it affected the way the game performed.
Was that Kingdom Hearts?
It might have been. I think it was Final Fantasy. because there wasn't it was a Switch thing, and there wasn't a physical version of Kingdom Hearts on Switch yet. Okay. So, but yeah, I think it was Final Fantasy VII. But either way, it was a very interesting point. Either way, that wraps up Week Old News. That wraps up this segment. We're going to take ourselves another quick break, and when we come back, we're going to check in with Checkpoint, which is probably going to be a lot of us talking about Avengers Doomsday. You're listening to the Stone Age Gamer Podcast from Geekade.com. Stick around.
We are Safe at Home, the leading dog rescue in the heart of New Jersey. Are you searching for a loyal companion, a dog that will bring love and joy to your home? Look no further than Safe at Home. At Safe at Home, we believe in giving every dog a second chance. We rescue, rehabilitate, and find loving forever homes for dogs in need, right here in the Garden State. Our dogs are ready to make a lasting impact on your life. Each one has a unique story, a wagging tail, and an incredible capacity for love. When you adopt from Safe at Home, you're not just gaining a pet, you're becoming a part of our family. Our dedicated team ensures a seamless adoption process, providing ongoing support and guidance. With New Jersey's beautiful parks, beaches, and trails, you and your new furry friend will have endless opportunities for adventures and cherished memories. Safe at Home relies on the support of compassionate individuals like you. Your donations and volunteer work enable us to continue saving lives and finding forever homes for these amazing dogs. Join us in creating a safer, happier community for dogs in New Jersey. Together we can make a difference and give every dog the chance to feel safe at home. Visit our website or call us now to learn about how you can be a part of the Safe at Home mission. Safe at Home, because every dog deserves to be loved and protected. www.safeathomerescue.org.
Do you miss the days when you'd get a fresh issue of Nintendo Power in the mail every month? It was stacked with reviews, previews, and all manner of cool new stuff about the world of Nintendo, and it even came with a free poster. Well, you don't have to miss those days anymore because Nintendo Force is here. Functioning as a spiritual successor to Nintendo's classic magazine, Nintendo Force is staffed with top-notch writing talent, and me for some reason, to deliver fresh new reviews, previews, and more right to your door every other month. And yes, posters are still included, except ours are double-sided. So if you want the thrill of learning all about the world of Nintendo in physical format, head on over to NintendoForceMagazine.com and learn all about it. Nintendo Force Magazine, the force of Nintendo fans. Well, all right, everybody, we are back. That's right. I just jumped right in.
Yeah,
what can do about it?
No warning.
No warning. Running start. Jumped right in. Just, so I'm out here. It's still just wonderful outside. And I've got, I just threw another log on the fire because even though it's late and I do want to go to bed, I am probably going to chill out here for a few minutes after we're done just to be a little bit closer to the fire. And I don't have my bellows out here. But I do have a fan because I've been out here all day. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to point the fan at the fire. So I did that, and that really got it going. That was
very nice.
Fun. Yeah. Now it's got a nice crackling fire in the fire pit. And it's time for us to check in with the checkpoint. Checkpoint! This is where Dan and I talk about what we've been up to. Let's get the let's get the stuff that we've been playing out of the way. I don't have a ton to talk about. I finished Chapter 2 of Deltarune, which I didn't like as much as Chapter 1. Chapter 2 was so much more focused on, I guess, kind of relationship-y stuff. But gameplay-wise, I did like it a bit better, but the story... I didn't really like the computer lady as the boss character. I didn't really like her all that much. I didn't think she was all that entertaining. So, Chapter 2, a little bit of a miss for me, but Chapter 3 is off to an interesting start. The drought the drought has prevented me from doing any real yard work, so I don't have anything fun to report in that department. I did start game streaming with Ellie. That's probably the coolest thing that I've done. We have done 3 episodes of Stone Age Gamer Generations. It's gone really well. Ellie beating the first dungeon last week was really, really cool.
Well, what are you playing?
Oh, sorry, we're playing Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, and the first episode was a little rough, but all in all, very fun. Still, it got a little touch and go towards the end. The second episode was just pure fantastic because she figured out the first dungeon. She died a bunch of times, like when the balls are rolling towards you at the beginning of the Eastern Palace dungeon. She died a bunch of times on that, and then eventually learned the timing. But it was her fighting the boss that was just the coolest thing. She kept getting wrecked, and then she kept figuring it out. What am I going to do? What works? How do I do this? And when she finally beat it, she just stood up and cheered, and she was so happy, and I was so proud of her. I was like, man, this is exactly what I was hoping for. This was fantastic. But her beating the first dungeon meant that the next episode was going to be me playing what she wanted. And so this last week, I don't know how I'm going to edit this into something that's viewable on YouTube because it was a lot of chaos. So she had me play this game called Animal Hospital on Roblox. Okay. And it was my understanding, the way that she had put it to me, that you needed 4 people. So I was going to try to find a 4th person. It was going to be me, my sister's kid, Pyrie, Ellie's friend, Aurora, and then a 4th person, because Ellie can't play. She's got to coach me. That's her job. Right. Just like I can't play Zelda, she can't play the game. So we wound up letting John play, and he didn't exactly take it seriously, and there was just a ton of chaos. I had a bunch of technical problems as far as streaming it because I was using my laptop to play the game and to stream the game, and I didn't quite get OBS right, so it doesn't look fantastic. And the first chunk of the stream, you couldn't even see the gameplay, and it was just a lot of the kids all talking to one another. Yeah. Eventually, we found our groove. John died and then gave up, and then it was just me, Aurora, and Pyrie, and we got into a real groove. And I gotta say, Animal Hospital is pretty fun. It took me a minute to understand what I was doing, and I really wish that it was just me and Ellie to start with, just playing by myself to get the basic mechanics down before bringing other people in. I think that would have went a lot better as far as me learning how to play the game. But either way, when I finally found my groove, I started having a lot of fun. The 3 of us working together, it was really cool. It was more fun than I expected it to be. I really thought it was going to be a slog because I've played a couple of Roblox games with Ellie before, and they've just been the most boring shit imaginable. Just dreadful. And I was kind of expecting this to be the same thing. I know she really wants me to play Dandy's World after I accomplish my goal in Animal Hospital, and that's one that I've played before that I have yet to find an ounce of fun in that one. Animal Hospital, I actually wound up having a genuinely good time with. That was pretty cool. So, it's been going well. It's bringing me a lot of joy spending that time with Ellie. I cannot wait to get back to Zelda, where we still have to do another week of Animal Hospital because she set this goal for me to unlock a character, and I needed to get a certain number of coins, and I got close, but not quite there. So the next on Thursday, we'll be doing another episode. We're doing the episodes Thursday at 3, and I'll do another episode of Animal Hospital. I'll no doubt get to the point where I need to get to move back to Zelda, and so where she's at now. So in A Link to the Past, her nemesis was that kid that runs away from you in Kakariko Village. Okay. She's just every time that kid shows, she's so angry at him. She just wants to find this kid, and he keeps running away. She has no idea that the Pegasus boots exist. And that's the first thing that she's going to get the next time we play, because she got the pendant. So now she's got to go talk to Sahasrahla, who's going to give her the Pegasus shoes. And I'm curious if the first thought she's going to have is, oh shit, I can chase that kid now. because that was the first thought I had when I put those shoes on. I'm going to make sure she visits the Lost Woods before she has the 3 pendants, just so she can see, the misty Lost Woods and see the Master Sword on its own, and just kind of have that moment of like wonder of this sword in the middle of the woods and how cool it is. But then she's got to get the Book of Medora. I'm hoping that she can figure that out. We found it before. She explored the town and she saw the library. So that was cool. I'm curious what she's going to remember of what we did in these first two sessions. And then she's got to play the Desert Palace and fight the Lanmolas, and I think that's going to be pretty fun. I really can't wait until she gets to the third palace, the tower on Death Mountain. First off, just seeing Death Mountain is incredible, but also like that boss that you have to Hopper's chasing something. It's very interesting. I don't know what it is that he's chasing. There's some sort of like, I don't know, a bowl or something in the yard, but he is just following something, and it is very amusing to watch. But that snake-looking boss, I can't remember its name, that keeps knocking you off the side. That boss is so frustrating. I'm very curious to see if she can actually beat that thing. I am giving her some grace as far as save states are concerned. I let her rewind a couple of times the first time, but instead the second episode I was like, all right, you're going to get a save state at the boss room. I'll give you that. But other than that, you gotta just play it naturally. You die, you got to go back to the last checkpoint. But it's been going great. It's just been going great, and I love doing it. But I know what you want to talk about is Moss.
So did you play it?
I just started book 2. I finished book 1 yesterday. I started book 2 this morning, but I only got I started book 2 late last night. I only got like 5 minutes in before I started falling asleep because I was tired. And my problem with Moss, I have many problems with Moss, but my biggest problem with Moss is it's too goddamn cozy. It puts me to sleep.
It's so cozy.
Not from being boring. It's just, it's the game is basically a bedtime story, and I'm just I just kind of want to curl up and sleep.
And it's so wonderfully done. So that was one of the things that I put in the review I wrote for ZTGD. I gave it a 9. I thought that was a fair score. We are definitely the highest on that game.
I think that's just from playing book 1. I think that's very high. What did you play it on?
PS5.
Okay.
But also keep in mind that I have played these games in VR as well. But and I really appreciated what they were able to do in taking these games that were originally VR games and having that connection between you as the reader and Moss as a character. Like in VR, it was so Quill. Effective. Yeah, Quill. Sorry. In VR, it was so effective because you are, you can look down into the stage and you can kind of look around corners and shit, like as you're trying to solve puzzles. And when you bend down, you see your reflection in like the water and whatnot, like the reader's reflection.
You can see that in the game once or twice.
Yeah, you can only see it a couple times in the game. It's a little bit more limited. But they still really kind of nailed that interaction between Quill and the reader to where it feels like you are both in the game as opposed to you are controlling Quill, right? Which I thought was just so fucking brilliant. But one of the things that has always been a standout to me in this game is the narrator. Because the performance that she gives in Moss Book 1 and Book 2 is very much that of a parent reading a bedtime story to their kid.
Yeah, this game doesn't have characters that they apply voice acting to. Right. All the characters are done from the narrator's perspective of she is doing the voices of the various characters.
And
it sounds brilliantly done.
like it's just so well done, because it sounds like when I read the stories to the kids when they were little, and I would do voices, quote unquote, but I'm not fully voice acting where I'm doing, a completely separate voice like a performance. You're just making your voice a little deeper or a little higher, or, like doing, and that's the way she gives the performance. And I think it's just so fucking endlessly charming, and fantastic. I absolutely love that game.
It's very cool. Really, my biggest problem with it is specifically in Chapter 1, because, again, I haven't done much of Chapter 2, is the inability to really comfortably navigate the 3D space. There's not quite enough shadow to accurately gauge where you are in 3D space. Like, you can tell that this game was designed to be able to look at it in actual 3D. And they didn't do very much to... There were a lot of times where I just got super frustrated thinking that I'm jumping from platform to platform, but this other platform is nowhere near where I think it is, just because the lighting didn't show me that that's where it is. Like, they're just assuming that you can see it in 3D space. And that was very problematic to me and extremely frustrating from time to time. The other problem is the invisible walls. It certainly gets
that way, especially, I think, at the end of book 1, as you're making your way, like, through that ending sequence with the snake. There are some frustrating platforming moments, I think, in that section especially.
There's even a spot during that castle segment that just encapsulates a problem that I have with this game's invisible walls. It is a very guided experience, and the invisible walls get in your way to an extent that just make no sense. Like, there was a platform that I stood on one side of that I could very easily reach, but I couldn't get on top of it. Like, it wasn't a matter of, like, this... In any reality, with the exception of it not being painted white to show you that it's a platform you could... This is something that Quill could have jumped on. Like, no question, could have jumped from point A to point B. But I had to walk around to the other side, which was lower, a full head height above my own, to jump up and climb up onto it, whereas I could have just as easily jumped at it from the side. But there was an invisible wall stopping me from doing that, because that wasn't the guided path the game wanted me to go down.
Yes.
There is a lot of that invisible wall stuff that prevents you from doing things that seem like you naturally should be able to do. And I understand that VR games tend to do that a lot because of the amount of freedom you have being able to constantly move your head to look around and the stuff like this. One of the things that I think holds back a lot of VR games, and it's something that
for sure
really should have been corrected more in this port. I understand why they didn't go further with it, I guess, because that's more development time, but it really knocks this game from a gameplay perspective down. It really knocks it down.
I think you will be less disappointed in book 2, and that was one of my big critiques of this package. I absolutely think it's worth it. I like I said, I gave this game a 9. I think it is a wonderful collection of games. I think the value for the price, because it's like $30, I think the experience that you get, especially if you have little kids, and you can kind of play this with them. There's some scary moments and like some darker moments, especially in book 2. But I think the value that's here is absolutely worth it. But one of the complaints that I did have is that book 2 is overall a much better game. It is a more interesting game. It has you'll gain access to a variety of different weapons, different ways to like do the platforming segments. It looks better. Visually, there's a lot more depth and detail in all of it, and I really think they should have spent the time to go back and gussy up book 1, because book 1 basically is just a straight port, and it once you play through book 2 and you see some of the stuff that is done in that one, be like, man, if they would have just done this for book one, just kind of bumped it up a little bit, you'd have something, even better here. That being said, I still think it's wonderful.
I'm not blown away by it so far, which is why I think a 9 is insane.
Sure.
Right now I'm floating in the 7 department, but like I said, I haven't really started book 2 yet. So structurally, it was a bit meandering. It's difficult to tell where the game wants you to go sometimes. There was one spot with the frog where she opened up all the various doors, and I didn't know exactly where to go, so I walked through one of the doors, and it's like, okay, you have to do all of this again. Like, well, can I just turn around and leave? Like, absolutely not. We're taking away the item. We took away your armor. You have to go do this puzzle again.
Get the sword
get the
again,
armor
or get
again.
the item.
It's like, why? Why is this like this? Like, there's no map, so why can't I just explore and see things without having to go through this again? This is fucking bullshit. So
yeah, that part's frustrating. I definitely 100% agree with that.
But I'm liking it. I like the heart that's clearly put into this game. There's a lot to like about it, and I hope that book 2 brings me a little bit more joy.
I think it will. She's such a wonderful little character. Like, it is
giving her high fives and stuff. That's pretty great.
Those little interactions. Like, I don't know that there's a game that has done that shit better. Of like making you feel like you're on a journey with the character, like those little interactions and the way Quill like looks up at you. Yeah, it's just fucking great, man.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I think it is. Yeah, very, very, very good game. And like I said, for the price that they're asking for it, I think it's outstanding. I did kind of notice though, and it just as an aside here, it's kind of an interesting thing. If you look on Metacritic, right, the review that I wrote for ZTGD is the first one that pops up when you look at reviews for Moss for this collection, right? The Forgotten Legacy, whatever the fuck it's called.
I don't know.
And the reason for that is because I have the highest score on it. Not because we published it first, not alphabetically or whatever. That's just kind of the default. And I guess I didn't realize that that's the way Metacritic did it when you clicked on all reviews. It just puts them in numerical order. Because, like, I was looking at a couple older games or whatever, and I was like, why the fuck did this game get 100? Jesus Christ. Like, there's no way. Oh, because you wanted to be first. Got it. It's like, oh, it's a way to game the system. Interesting.
All right, what have you been up to before we start talking about Avengers?
So over the last 2 weeks, well, let me tell you the quick story of the baseball game. So last week, so we were off last Friday because my buddy was down from Massachusetts, and I haven't seen him. I was a little nervous to go see him because the last time I saw him, I got diagnosed with cancer the week following, and I was like, I don't know if I want to go hang out with Crispy again. It's the last time I hung out with this dude, I got cancer. But so far, so good. Everything seems to be all right. But I went and spent time with him and a bunch of people. We just got together. It was really nice to, see these people, and I hadn't seen any of them since I had gotten sick or whatever. But then the following day, that Saturday, was the day that my Uncle Harvey and I were going to go up to the Yankees-Dodgers game, Yankee Stadium. And the weather was just fucking awful last Saturday. And I went to go pick him up. The game started at 8. And I went to go pick him up. We're driving to Yankee Stadium from basically from Swedesboro is where he lives in South Jersey. So it's a good 2.5 hour trip. And he's old, right? Like, he's in his 80s. It takes him a while to walk. Thankfully, like, there's a parking garage right by the gate we needed to go in, but it was like, all right, it's still going to take him a while to get to his seats. Let's leave at 3. We'll get up to the game at like 5:30. We'll get in, all of that'll be great. But when I got to his house, I was like, man, I don't know, Uncle Harvey. We're going to listen. We're going to listen to the radio on the way up because I got a feeling they're going to cancel this game, man. And and I don't want to drive all the way to New York just to have to turn around and drive all the way home without a game. Hopefully they'll make an announcement here because the weather just looks so bad. So we get in the car, we drive up, I'm listening to the radio, and it's like, well, they just put out the lineup cards. They took the tarp off the field. It's like, all right, maybe we're actually going to get this game in tonight. That'll be fine. That'll be good. We're on the road. We're here. And we legitimately go to pull into the parking garage, and they start waving us off. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, are they not open yet? Because it's like 5:30. The game doesn't start till 8. Like, maybe they're not open yet. So, like, we drove to another parking garage, and there was nobody in there. I was like, fuck, dude. Like, they definitely canceled it. But there was still nothing on the radio. So we're driving around the Bronx a little bit, like, just trying to hope for it. And eventually I saw a lady working outside one of the parking garages, and as soon as I pulled up, she was like, yeah, the game is canceled. They haven't announced it anywhere else yet, but doubleheader tomorrow. You got to turn around. And I was like, fuck, dude. All right. So we drove from South Jersey to the Bronx, drove around the Bronx for a little bit, and drove home. We stopped and got dinner. And then the next game, they moved the game to Sunday at 12:35. So it's like, all right, I'll be over at 9 to pick you up. We'll go back up to the fucking stadium. So I go on Sunday, pick them up at 9, drive up, and we go to the game. The Yankees got fucking dog walked by the Dodgers. It was embarrassing. The seats were outstanding. Everything is fucking crazy expensive there. Jesus Christ, it was expensive. But it was beautiful seats, beautiful day. And my Uncle Harvey was happy because the Dodgers won. But I drove to New York City twice last weekend. The span of 2 fucking days. It's very, very frustrating. Anyway. Do you remember, Kris, us talking about the game Mio, Memories in Orbit?
Yes.
Okay. Over the last 2 weeks, I picked that up in the Steam summer sale. I got it for I think it was like $12 or some shit like that during the sale. Over the last 2 weeks, I have put, let me see here. I have it up on my Steam page. I have put a total of 19.8 hours into that game, and right before I came down to record today, I beat the final boss to get the first ending. There's a couple different endings in this game. Holy shit, did I absolutely love this game. This game, I feel... So, it is gorgeous. This game is stunningly beautiful throughout the entire thing. Like, the trailers do not do it justice, because obviously this is a Metroidvania, a search action type game. There are so many areas and so many different biomes and whatever that they don't show off in the trailers, obviously for, hoping to avoid spoilers and whatever. That, man, this game really just is just beautiful. The art direction, it's like this weird kind of mixture of colored pencil and watercolor painting. Just really, really beautiful colors, really well animated. The settings are really cool and weird, and this bio-organic mechanical kind of world that you're living in with all of these weird little robots, but it just absolutely fucking gorgeous game. And the platforming in this game and the control over the main character is so fucking smooth and so fun. And as you progress throughout the game, you get a lot of abilities that enhance your ability to platform and make your way through the level. And there are some very, very challenging platform sections in this game, especially as you get to the back half of the game. Some of the shit you got to go through is just fucking wild. It's similar in a way to Hollow Knight, to where there's some areas in Hollow Knight where you're like, or more specifically Silksong, I guess, where the platforming is just so specific and so intense, but like such a sense of accomplishment when you get through it, right? Just really, really well done. And especially there's one power that you get later in the game that turns your tendrils, which are like the main way you traverse through the game and attack. Like once you upgrade them a little bit, they turn those tendrils that are coming off the back of your character's head into like spider legs, and you can kind of like skitter up walls and shit, and they make this very lovely little tinkling sound. It's fucking great. Really, really cool. It's also very similar to Hollow Knight and Silksong in that a lot of the story is it doesn't hit you over the head with exposition, right? This is definitely more talkative than Hollow Knight. The voice acting is really good. The story's kind of, deep and dark and interesting and all of those things. But so much of the game, it allows you to kind of discover the narrative on your own as you're making your way through it, which it felt very old school in that way. When you turn this game on, you get a little bit of backstory, and then you're just kind of dumped in this world where it's like, all right, well, what the fuck do I do? Where do I go? And it's like, all right, I'm just going to start looking around. And the progression, to me anyway, I've seen it complained about in other spaces, but to me the progression always felt pretty organic in this game of like, all right, I see where I have to go. The challenge now is to figure out how the fuck do I get there, right? Because there's oftentimes multiple paths to get to where you need to go, kind of depending on what abilities you've unlocked at that point, and how you can kind of make your way through the world, right? As you're playing through, so you start the game with your attack and a double jump, and eventually you get kind of like a grappling hook kind of thing, right? So if you're making your way through the game, and you double jump and then you grappling hook, that takes away all of the energy that you have for like these special little things that you can do. Unless you hit an enemy in the air, kind of like the messenger, then you can jump again and you can grapple again, or you can glide, or you can spider, or you can do all these other different things that you get. So by the end of the game, the focus is so much more on the fluidity of the movement and the creativity in how you're moving through the game, that it really just became incredibly joyful for me anyway to play through this. The combat, on the other hand, is very tough. Like, very, very tough. I would put this at, like, maybe not Silksong levels of tough, but definitely like Hollow Knight levels of difficulty for the combat, especially some of the boss fights. And a lot of that comes down to the way I play games and having to not try to brute force my way through these encounters. Because the game is so focused on that fluidity of movement, the boss fights themselves naturally lend themselves to that. But as soon as I would get into a boss fight, I'd be like, fuck it, whip the shit out of like, I'm gonna hit him as many times as I fucking can. And now I died again. Shit, fuck, alright, I gotta jump right back into it. God damn it. Just an absolutely beautiful game. I found myself thinking about this game the entire time that I was not playing it. I absolutely fucking loved it. I thought it was so good. And with all of that said, I could see somebody buying this game and absolutely fucking hating it because it is very old school. It does not give you direction. It is tough as nails to get through. There's a decent little set of like accessibility options to where you can make it so that enemies won't attack you unless you attack them first. You will regenerate like a level of health if you stay on the ground, and bosses will get weaker each time you die to them. So like Not that they retain the hit points that they had from the previous fight, but they do like a percentage less damage or have a percentage less health. I don't know exactly what the system is, but they get a little easier. So eventually, if you're struggling with a particular boss, if you die enough times, like, you'll get through it. But man, I was just so fucking in love with this game. The soundtrack is great. The fucking story is awesome and weird and out there and confusing, but very charming and very touching. Graphically, it looks great. It plays super smooth. I played this entirely on my Steam Deck, and it played outstanding, like at 720 resolution with all the settings up to high. Didn't have any slowdown or any problems with that. Really, the only negative that I had with this game, it makes sense narratively, because the story that you're going through is that you're like trying to save a dying world kind of thing. And it's a little bit more than that, but for the purposes of this, it doesn't matter. Periodically throughout the game, you will build up your protective layers that you have, so essentially hit points, right? Like the masks that you have in Hollow Knight. And there were two instances that I got to in the game where something came in and damaged me and took away one of my hit points. And once that happens, there is no way to get it back, right? So, like, you spend all this time because you got to collect 4 pieces of the protective layer, and then you get the extra hit point and whatever, and you can do that a couple times. You can buy them from a shop. But you build up a couple of these protective layers, and then the game just takes them from you, and you don't get them back. And the same thing happens to the bosses and the enemies in the game, too. They also have, like, when their health bar pops up, they have a black spot on their health bar of where they lost health. So, depending on what you've done in what order, you might fight a boss with more or less health, depending on when you get to them. And narratively, it makes sense that something is taking from this world and it's taking everything. It's kind of a weird design choice, though. You know, I don't know, and maybe you can think of one, but I don't know of any games that where you earn additional, like, heart pieces or health or whatever you want to call them, and then the game takes them away, and then you don't have an opportunity to get them back. Like, they just stay gone. Is there anything that does that?
Not that I can think of.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's something out there. Regardless of that, if there is another game that comes out that unseats this as my indie of the year, I would be fucking shocked. This came out in January. I just played it over the last 2 weeks. Dumped, like I said, almost 20 hours into it over 2 weeks. Fucking awesome. Absolutely loved it. Outstanding soundtrack. Outstanding soundtrack. It sounded very much like a lot of the instrumentals of Stranger Things, played through the lens of, like, the instrumentation that was used in a lot of Kubrick movies, which kind of just hits me right where I live. Fucking loved it. Absolutely brilliant.
Neat. I'm trying to move closer to the fire because it's really cold out here. Not really cold, but I'm starting to get cold. So I'm trying to figure out how to move myself closer to the fire.
Okay.
The fire's over there.
It does
my
make it
cable's not very long.
It was the 10th game that I finished this year, which is nuts. I don't ever finish that many games in a year. This is my 10th one so far.
Yeah, that's not bad.
So now I don't know, like, obviously I'm going to jump back into, like, Lego Batman and, like, finish that with Tiff. Like, we've still been kind of playing that off and on. But I think I'm going to jump into, I think Mouse PI is the next thing I'm going to get through. So I'm very, very curious on that one. Anyway.
Yeah, anyway, I mean, for me, I think the next one I go into is I mean, I still have a little bit. I still have Rhythm Heaven to get through. I would love to be playing more of that, but I had to dedicate what little gaming time I have to Moss, because I got to get that review written within the next week. I played a little bit of virtual bowling too, because I have to review that one. It's not bad. It's bowling.
Sure.
It's nothing special, but it's better than Nestor's Funky Bowling. It's the better of the two Virtual Boy bowling games, which, again, why are there two bowling games on Virtual Boy?
Yeah. Breaking news, 19 minutes ago, coming out of San Diego Comic-Con, a new God of War game starring Kratos is coming on Friday. God of War game director Cory Barlog confirmed at Comic-Con that Santa Monica Studio is developing another game in the action-adventure franchise that will star Kratos. It will be released after God of War Laufey, which is officially coming now in 2027. So there you go. Everybody can shut up. God of War Laufey, or however the fuck you say it, is coming to PS5 on February 16th, 2027. And after that, the next Kratos game will be coming. So there you go.
That is where I go. I mean, we kind of knew that was coming, but because they kept having to reassure people, like, oh, don't worry, Kratos' story is not over. We're not changing it to a woman forever. We know how much you hate that.
But at least it's official.
At least it's official. All right, so what did you think of the Doomsday trailer?
Man, so I am so cautiously optimistic that this is somehow going to make sense.
It got me pretty excited. It looks pretty cool. Robert Downey Jr. sounds pretty good as Doom. I like that. I am personally happy at the lack of characters. There's like not that there's a lack of characters, but
I was going to say lack of characters.
Well, one of the loudest complaints on the internet is like, where's this guy? Oh, where's this guy? Oh, where's this guy? Oh, where's this guy? Oh, but this guy? Oh, but this guy? How come they're not in this? Like, how big do you want the cast to be?
I mean, it's going to be that big at some point.
Yeah, at some point. But for now, look, the X-Men stuff, like Channing Tatum as Gambit, I thought was a hilarious joke in Deadpool. When they announced that he was going to be doing this for real, I was like, oh, I don't know about that. But that little fight scene against him and Shang-Chi, that didn't get me excited. Damn it, that didn't get me excited. Comic anchor Cyclops, looking good. James Marsden has aged up enough to really look like Cyclops. That looks
He really has.
Good.
And like, you know how I feel about those X-Men movies. I do not like them. I am, however, very happy for James Marsden that he gets to be in this movie.
Yes, me too. I hope they do the character justice. I think that he has become an excellent casting choice for Cyclops. I think he could have been excellent, when he was younger too. But like, I love those movies, but I definitely accept that they are very flawed. Especially after the second one. God, the third one is so bad.
It just, boy, does it go places.
Yeah, it's just, they did X-Men so dirty, but X-Men 97's so good.
Yeah, we haven't started that yet. We made our way through season 1 and 2 of Silo to get ready for season 3. That show's so fucking good. Oh my God. That show is outstanding.
It got me very excited. Spider-Man's coming up real soon. That looks great. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
So, 2 questions based on that trailer. One, do you think that Thor makes it out of this movie? Because I do not. I think this is it for Thor. And do you think that is Steve Rogers?
I did at first, but now I'm not so sure. Or which flavor of Steve Rogers it is. Like, Is this a variant of Steve Rogers that's also worthy? I don't know. As far as Thor making it out, I don't know that they're going to kill him so much as give him his happily ever after. Like, this is where Thor goes now and his story is done. But of course, I also don't know who replaces Thor. As, like, you know, we've got our young Avengers, more or less, being formed. I don't know that there is a young version of Thor to replace him.
I mean, is that his daughter?
Really needs
Love?
To be. Yeah, is it Love? I don't know. I don't really know.
I hope not.
I don't know. Yeah, I hope not too. I hope this is good. I hope this is as good as it looks. I didn't even recognize Robert Downey Jr.'s voice until the second time I watched the trailer.
Yeah.
And that's good. That's what you want. I hope we never see his face. I doubt that's going to be the case, but I hope we don't see it. I hope he's just Doom. And I hope it goes somewhere. I hope this introduction of Doom is building to something sustainable and cool and interesting. I hope that Kang is eventually addressed and wrapped up in some way, shape, or form. Look, Spider-Man looks great. The last couple of Marvel projects, I think, have just been great.
Yeah. This one has to be great.
Yeah, this one has to be great. This one has a lot of weight on its shoulders, and I haven't liked. It's still like as cool as it was to have RDJ's. He's doing a good job, but like, you know, could you really not have found somebody not a white guy to play Doctor Doom?
Yeah,
I don't know. It just smells of
at the very
desperation.
least not that like you can go to Latveria and find, but like he's very obviously an Eastern European dude.
Yeah, like
you
something. I loved Steve's ending. I love that character. I love him and Peggy. I love that the last thing we got of him, like,
was a happy ending.
He got that dance with Peggy. I don't you dare ruin that for anything less than a masterpiece. If you ruin that ending for him, if you take that away from that character, and if they undo Iron Man's death, you know, like if they undo any of the sacrifice involved in that, I'm already pissed about Rhodey, the Secret Wars nonsense, not Secret Wars, the Secret Invasion nonsense they pulled with him.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, the show didn't happen.
Secret Invasion?
They made a show out of that? No.
Did they?
I would have heard.
No idea.
They didn't
Never heard of
fridge
it.
Maria Hill for no goddamn reason. Look. There's a lot riding on this one. I thought the trailer was very exciting. It really reignited my excitement for Marvel stuff. Not that it had been, you know, truly waned. Like I said, the last handful of projects I really enjoyed.
I think they've been really good. I will say though that this particular era of Marvel movies, TV shows, like all of it, I think this has absolutely been the weakest, and it has been incredibly sloppy. Now,
for sure.
A lot of that is
there's a lot of
beyond their control.
There were factors, but some of it was within their control. They didn't have to approach Black Panther the way that they did. They could have recast T'Challa just as well as they could have recasted Kang. I don't know what they could have done with the Marvels to make that movie sell better, but that movie deserved way better than it got. Captain America Brave New World was a mess. It was an entertaining enough mess, but it was kind of a mess.
It was fine.
They did not handle that movie well. Thunderbolts was fantastic.
I loved Thunderbolts.
People hated people who hated Quantumania are just mean. That's my opinion of that. People who hated Quantumania are just mean.
I don't really get the hate for Quantumania. I don't really understand why it is as lambasted as it is.
I don't either. I went to that. I walked out of that movie happy as a clam. I was like, that was fucking great. That was a blast. I thought that was a really clever take on MODOK. I just thought that was a hoot. And then it was like, no, you're wrong. Everyone hates this movie for every reason. And I'm like, I don't get it.
And it's weird because, like, I'm looking at the Rotten Tomatoes for it right now, and it has a 46% on the critic reviews and an 81% on the audience reviews. And I think a lot of times, like, we hear that narrative of, like, people hate this movie, and, like, critics hated this movie, but an 81% from
that's not bad
fans,
but it's certainly underperformed.
I mean,
and the Marvels
that's what you
really
want,
underperformed,
though.
And that's a bummer. Marvels was such a cool movie. That was like, a weak villain. What else is new in the Marvel universe? It was a fun ass movie.
I liked it quite a bit.
There's a large portion of the internet that just despises Brie Larson. Secret Invasion was not good.
You see, Chris, she's a woman who speaks her mind.
That's just not okay.
That's not okay. And see, like, that one, I'm looking that one up. That's a 63% on the critics and the 79% on the audience. So, like, that's a little closer. But, like, still, like, 79%, if you can get, that's not bad.
That's not bad.
People hate everything.
They do. And, like, I don't think people hated Secret Invasion enough. Again, I was entertained
I don't
enough.
either.
But I think that was pretty damaging and kind of a wreck. Agatha All Along, on the other hand, was fucking
incredible.
Great.
Incredible.
That was fantastic.
Yeah.
Daredevil
that
Born
was
Again.
incredible.
I have been very happy with Daredevil Born Again. That has had some really good shit in there. Really interesting. I absolutely loved Thunderbolts. I thought Thunderbolts was brilliant. That made me feel feelings. I thought Ironheart was so much better than I expected it to be. I had zero expectations for Ironheart because I did not think Wakanda Forever was very good at all. I was not entertained by that movie. But I thought Ironheart was actually really good. And Fantastic Four, again, surprising. That movie, again, brought feels in ways that I didn't expect. And the weakest part of that movie, I thought, was Pedro Pascal. And I rather like him. And then there's Wonder Man. Again, fucking great.
Wonder Man was so fucking good. It was so good. Dude, I fucking...
Like, looking through this, there's been...
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Such good shit throughout this entire chunk. Yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine. It's fucking great. Both seasons of Loki. Fucking great.
Yeah. But it was sloppy, though. It even with all of that, it was still sloppy. It didn't feel as coherent. It didn't hit all of the notes. All of that is fine because this is the opportunity to put everything and they kind of have to, right? Like,
all right, pause for 1 second. Ellie's calling me. She's at a sleepover. Hi, sweetie. How you doing? Did you guys go swimming? Did you have fun? Awesome. I'm recording outside. Yeah, I have fire in the fire pit. Getting a little low. I'm a little chilly, but yeah, I recorded the podcast outside tonight because it's just so beautiful out. I figured it would be. It wasn't. It was nasty, but not so bad. I figured it would feel better pretty quickly. Did Brookie get let out of her cage? Yeah. She's a good dog. She wasn't trying to hurt you. She just got super excited. But I'm sorry. Yeah, that happens. Pointy dog. Oh, here comes mommy.
How are you, baby girl?
Did Miss Erica talk to you about tomorrow? You cool with you would prefer to stay there than to sit in a car for an hour with me and John and drive out to Philly and see people you don't really want to see? No need to apologize. It was my. Yeah, I think Nate will be perfectly happy with me and John. And you get to have another fun day with Aurora. How late do you plan on staying up tonight? Like all night? Yeah. I'll bet you are.
You still up?
Hi. How's it going? Hi. We did not yes, we are outside because it's beautiful out, and I've recorded the podcast outside tonight. I actually paused the podcast for this. We did not request to intrude on your sleeping time here, just so you know. Okay. Cool. What you reading? Anything good? Is that happening? Is that on the way? Is that on the way? You're going to die soon? That you got plans? That's true. You never know. Good night. Enjoy your book.
Aw,
Hi, Brookie. It's a good dog, right? I like that dog. Goodness gracious me. All right, kiddo. I actually do have to wrap up my show. Dan's holding right now. I will. Dan, Ellie says hi.
Tell her I said shut the fuck up. We got a show to do.
Dan says shut the fuck up. We have a show to do.
Also, hi. You're the
also,
best.
hi. No, he literally did say that, but he was kidding. He says you're the best.
Ellie is my favorite of your female children.
Dan says Ellie is his favorite of my female children. You're my kid. He said you are Dan's favorite of my female children. Not his female children.
You are my favorite of Chris's daughters.
Yes.
Brother, ew.
You are Dan's favorite of my daughter. All right, you screwball.
Don't stay up all night, okay?
Yeah, get some rest and have all the fun tomorrow.
Fuck that. Stay up all night. That's fine.
Cool. Yeah, I'm going to go to bed after I'm off the podcast. I might stay out here for a few minutes by the fire because it's just so nice outside, but yeah. You can squad now. Well, what now? Hey, you're not tired. I'm not pretending I'm not. I'm exhausted. All right, you little gummy bear. I'm going to get back to finishing this show and get my butt to bed. I miss you.
Gay.
I love you too. Hi, sweetie. I miss you too. But I'll see you at some point tomorrow. Mwah. I will try. I am aiming to be home around dinner time. That's the plan. course, driving in and out of Philly, who knows? But I'm planning to be home around dinner time tomorrow. That's the hope. Yeah, well, it's just going to be me and John, so he's going to take the front seat. He'll be fine. I love you too, kiddo. Good night. Goon. Okay, I'm back. Thank you for allowing the pause.
Yeah, that's fine. All right, where the fuck were we? I don't remember what we were saying.
Saying something about Marvel movies.
Oh.
I don't remember.
Yeah, no, just, yeah. I suppose just that, like, yeah. This looks really good. It has to be really good.
Yeah,
because
hard to agree.
Because there's a lot fucking riding on this.
Yeah, this isn't quite like Star Wars, where, like, I feel like Star Wars is, as fun as it has been, Star Wars is a bit diluted by making it into this massive universe with tons and tons of chapters. There's a certain beautiful simplicity to just the trilogy of Star Wars movies, Marvel's not that. Marvel's always been this sprawling thing. It's comic books. They were always episodic and stuff. So it's much more plausible to make something like this work long term. And I hope that they can continue to pull it off. I mean, obviously, we're never going to get Phase 1 back. Like, that was lightning in a bottle. We're just never going to get that back. I mean, even if X-Men is as great as it could possibly be, I don't know that it's ever going to reach that kind of audience because the novelty is missing. Even as good as it could be, there is a certain novelty to the way that those first Avengers movies really worked. But I think it can still be very successful, and as long as they focus more on good storytelling instead of just introducing as much as they possibly can, as quick as they possibly can, which was, I think, a big part of the problem here. Like, Shang-Chi was a great fucking movie, but where was the follow-up?
Shang-Chi was dope as fuck.
Where was the follow-up? Because you had all these other projects, all these other irons in the fires. You've introduced so many characters. How do you make them all interact? How do you make a cohesive universe that's not comic books out of all these characters and still have the wherewithal to make movies for all of them? It's just not really... The math wasn't there. It was, again, it was very cart before the horse kind of a thing. They needed to have a more cohesive plan in order to make something like this work long term. And I'm hoping that there is a decent course correction following Secret Wars. I think the Spider-Man stuff is moving in the right direction. I think the TV shows are moving in the right direction of being less homeworky, Yeah. Like, Marvel's is a great movie, but only if you've seen WandaVision and Ms. Marvel. Like, that's 2 whole TV shows that you really need to have seen before you watch this movie. Even with Captain America, like, this whole chapter of, between Bucky and the Thunderbolts and introducing a U.S. agent and whatnot, this all happened in this TV show that's kind of required viewing to make sense of this stuff. I'm very curious if there's going to be any mention of Eternals. That opened up a bunch of doors and left a whole lot of just dangling threads out there that were very interesting. And I know the movie underperformed, but again, I thought it was pretty cool and interesting. And again, where was the follow through? Where was the follow up? Where's the rest of it? At least they mentioned it in the Captain America movie, that's where adamantium comes from. That's very cool.
I think that's about all you're going to get, though. I think the more that they can... That movie underperformed fucking literally everywhere. Like, not just at the box office, home video, merchandise. It just could not have been a bigger flop. You can go to any Ollie's around the country, and if you want a complete set of the Eternals Marvel Legends, you can have them for like $5 a piece. And that is just not a thing that happens. Like, even with shitty toys that nobody wants, like, that movie just did not make a dent, which is fine. Okay. You know, you've mentioned your thing, and now move on. It's okay.
That movie should have been a TV show.
Yeah. It definitely should have been. Yeah. This is so, I guess the last thing I'll say for this is such an important movie, not just for the MCU, but for comic book movies going forward. Like,
I would agree with that sentiment.
If this bombs, like, and you've got some pretty hard sells coming up from DC. Like, Spider-Man's always going to do pretty good, I think. You know, you could do whatever with Spider-Man.
Yeah, you're always going to have a winner on Spider-Man to a certain degree.
But, like, did you watch Superman, the Clayface trailer?
No. God,
that movie is not going to be a fun superhero movie. That is going to be...
I won't even watch the trailer. I saw the first one and I said, absolutely the fuck not. I'm sure this is going to be a great movie, but body horror is not for me. That makes super me excited, very uncomfortable. So I'm not touching that trailer with a 30-foot pole.
That is going to be that's going to be a hard sell on that movie. And then this next Avengers movie and this next Superman movie have to do a lot of heavy lifting. Because
that first Superman movie, I adored it, but it wasn't the slam dunk that they really wanted it to be. Like, it performed well, but not great. Supergirl tanked, which again,
tanked hard,
is tragic, but sort of understandable.
Did you watch it
obviously
yet?
I saw it. We talked about it.
That's right. We did talk about it. Yeah.
It was such a tonally weird movie. I understand why it didn't catch on to a broader audience, but also I'm really glad they stuck to their guns on its tone, because I think it's a really interesting movie as a counterpoint to Superman.
They're James Guns, even.
Yeah. We'll see what happens with this Lanterns TV show.
Boy, am I not excited about that at all.
Apparently there was a new trailer today shown at San Diego Comic-Con that looks really good, but I haven't seen it because I'm not at Comic-Con. But
I just am so uninterested in Jon Stewart as a Lantern. I've always
found Hal Jordan, and
he's so old. I don't like it.
We're gonna get a little Nathan Fillion, Guy Gardner in there too.
Yeah, I do
slather
like that.
in more of that guy. You know, I'll take it. Jon Stewart. I really like Jon Stewart in the Justice League cartoon. I don't really know him from the comics at all, so I don't know.
He's just always been my least favorite. But
it's Kyle Rayner. And
all right, fuck it.
Yeah, let's tie this up. Let's wrap it up. That's enough show. I mean, Jesus Christ, we've been at this for 3.5 hours. So,
we missed a week.
We missed a week. We had a lot to catch up on. So that's it. That's our show. Join us next time for the return of the SAG Cartoon Express. We'll be watching Sonic the Hedgehog Season 1, Episode 1, Sonic Boom. Should be a good one. We're on most social media platforms. It should at least
be an episode. I'm not going to go so far as to say it should be a good one.
It's going to be, you know what? It's going to be better than the 10, 20, 30, 40.
Ooh, I don't know.
It's going to be better than this month's Super Nintendo lineup. It will be better than Bassmasters Pro.
I don't know.
We're on most social media platforms, and if you want to get in touch with us, we aren't very difficult to find. All it takes is a quick look at our show notes, and you'll see links to our social media accounts, as well as all manner of other fun stuff, like a link to our namesakes, StoneAgeGamer.com, and more useful links than you can shake a joystick at. If you'd like to get early access to this show's episodes, as well as a bevy of other shows on the Geekade Podcast Network, check out our Patreon, also linked to in the show notes. It helps keep the show running week after week, and all our patrons are loved and appreciated. This show's theme song, Squared Roots, was written by banjo guy Ollie. You can learn all about his wonderful music and more by following the link to his YouTube channel, also in the show notes. And finally, as always, we'd like to thank our intrepid editor, Evan, for making the show listenable for all you folks. We'd like to thank all you folks for listening in the first place. That is it. On behalf of Dan and myself, keep playing games.